isn't just toxic white males. It's toxic femininity, brought to you by Midnight's Edge.
Greetings and welcome from the Midnight's Edge studios, if there was one. I am Tom Connors, and with me, as always, is the lovely ladies of the Toxic Femininity crew. How is everybody doing tonight? Nina Infinity is joining us as a special guest. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys tonight?
Peachy.
Fabulous. Doing great.
That's
fabulous.
And we also have with us Alora. Hello.
Hello, Tom. And how are you doing?
Doing the best I can. That's all.
Okay. You always ask us, and so I thought I'd ask you.
Yes, that's awesome. I appreciate it. And also with us tonight, taking over hostess mostess duties, Miss Lorena Creole. How you doing?
I am doing good. And to paraphrase or channel Wendy Williams, how you doing?
Now you better be careful how you say that. I might think you mean something different. All right,
that almost sounded like Joey too from Friends. Like how?
Yeah, like how you doing?
Yes. Oh, I love Joey. He's so fun.
He's so great.
Exactly. And sadly, Mary cannot be with us tonight. She's not feeling well, so hopefully she gets better soon. If she's listening, we're thinking about you, Mary. Hopefully you get better, and happy holidays to you as well. If I don't get to talk to you before then,
everybody go throw her some love on Twitter. Like send her some funny gifts, some hearts, whatever.
Dogs, fart in the hearts.
Yeah, I mean, actually, dogs. She's a dog person, so dogs, puppies.
There you go.
There you go.
Absolutely. All right.
But other than that, I don't want to take up too much of your ladies' time because we've got a lot to discuss. We've had a very Star Wars heavy week with all the news going on, both Star Wars and Lucasfilm related. And I know you guys are going to talk a lot about that tonight. And some other topics if we can get to them. So like I said, without further ado, I think we should get to that. But first, I want to just let everybody know you can get yourself a Toxic Femininity t-shirt or hoodie or what have you by following the link in our description. So there you go. If you need one of those, that's where you go to get one.
Absolutely. They look great.
Right. So
makes a good Christmas gift.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if you'll get one by Christmas now, but you know, there you go. That's a great point, Laura, as well. So you should be thinking about
print out the order and
get a Christmas gift for yourself.
Yeah, there you go. Treat yourself. You always got to treat yourself, Give yourself some love and do it for us as well. You know that you love us.
There you go. And that helps support the show as well. So
yes.
Speaking of the show, let's get into it.
Well, ladies, did you hear anything interesting about Star Wars over this past weekend?
Oh my God. Yeah.
You know what? I thought it was said that, we needed a break, that there was, basically, too much Star Wars going on, that we were getting too much. And it was, and so, all of a sudden they changed their mind. I wonder why.
They did, because I remember I was listening to this one earnings call, and then one of the investors from one of the big, huge investment houses said, so what is your plan for Star Wars? And Bob Iger, of course, gets up to tap dance and says, well, we're going to take a break from doing anything really with Star Wars. We're kind of stepping away from it and refocusing on what we're going to do and have a more disciplined approach. Of course, that was right before The Mandalorian popped off. And apparently, I guess we're not too tired of Star Wars, because last week, Kathleen Kennedy expelled forth on that big, huge PowerPoint all those
where she looked like Palpatine, and
all she needed was a hood.
And there you go.
That would have completed the look. She should have did that.
She had that dark side thing going on for sure.
Yes, kind of like.
So are you guys feeling Star Wars fatigue? Because that was the pretense of them saying, "Oh, we're gonna take a break" and all this. And so, are you feeling fatigued?
I'm fatigued of how much they've been effing up Star Wars. That's what I was tired of. And
yeah,
I remember during not the investor, but the stockholders meeting, the one where peons like me with my 3 shares of stock can get up and talk to the CEO. And there were so many people who were like, I own 1 share of stock, but I'm not happy with what you're doing with Star Wars. I'm not happy. It's like they're like, Star Wars was such a big part of my life. I was excited when Star Wars was brought to the parks. I remember going to Star Wars weekends at Disney Studios, which was like a Star Wars convention every single weekend. I bring my kids, I bring my grandkids. Star Wars was something that I felt Disney would really get behind. And you're not doing it right.
Here's the thing, ladies. Do you guys remember a few years ago when that movie came out called, I think it was called The Last Jedi?
That abomination.
That movie. You guys remember how their whole slogan was "Let the past die, kill it
if you have to."
Yeah, it seems like they want to zombify it instead, and let's bring back everyone and milk it instead.
Yeah,
that's how I feel.
Let's bring. Let's bring half of Anakin's.
You said milk it.
Yes. For nostalgia, let's bring R5 droid back from when from A New Hope, just to milk it. So there's like all these little nostalgia baits.
Remember berries.
Remember berries.
Remember that.
To make it even more appealing, especially to ladies who like Baby Yoda, let's get Baby Yoda and R2 on the same screen, and let's do that, because
we're getting ahead of ourselves. But it's well, I'll just get into it, because there's a lot of stuff in this article that we will have more than enough fun and time picking apart. So, courtesy of Screen Rant, The Mandalorian Season 2, biggest questions after the finale. The Mandalorian Season 2 is officially over, and the finale left some big questions and major cliffhangers for the show's future to answer. So it says 1 day ago, so before it said 2 days ago, so it'll be interesting to see what they changed here. After 8 fantastic weeks, I would say more like 4, but that's just me. The Mandalorian Season 2 has finally drawn to a close. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of salt. A lot of salt and spice from me during
Hey. Either way, this episode 8 was much better than the other episode 8.
Season 1, episode 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is hell. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, The Last Jedi lowered the bar. So that was kind of easy.
It sat on it like an elephant.
It didn't lower.
No, but am I the only one though who noticed that this was the 8th episode of the season and Luke showed up and he actually got some more respect in the last 2 minutes of episode 8 of Mandalorian than he did in episode 8 of Star Wars?
I didn't make the episode number connection, but that's a good point. That's a good point. So here we go. So they're saying The Mandalorian Season 2 has finally drawn to a close, but not before leaving fans with a cavalcade of cliffhangers and hanging questions. At the end of episode 7, the believer, Din Djarin, had learned the location of Moff Gideon, aka Fanboy Vader. Yes, I'm going to call him that. Command cruiser. And
I agree. When you look at him, all he needed was the red saber. He had the dark saber. He had the little packet. What's that little right there? He doesn't need a breathing apparatus. So why does he have that?
I was trying to figure it out. I'm like, why does he have the Ice Cube panel? Why does he have the same gait as Vader? Why does he seem to talk in the same cadence as Vader? I'm just Freaking
I
Vader
thought it was
fan.
more like gay Vader, but
There you go. And the thing is that
Vader?
moths don't dress that way. When you're a
No.
moth, you don't dress that way. So how you seen Tarkin dress, that's the uniform. That's what moths dress like. So yeah. So
Moff's
I
a
digress
bit
from that, but I agree.
flamboyant. I'm not gonna say he's, totally, but
I get you.
I wouldn't
Are
be
you saying
surprised.
he's Darth Gator? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Darth Gator.
Fabulous. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, he's fabulous.
but
We'll
he
leave it at that.
is. I mean, I understand, Vader probably had, his
An
fanboys in
influence.
the Empire.
His
I can
hair's too
understand
good
that.
for a straight guy in the Empire. I'm sorry.
You know what? But he is. He looks fabulous. But it just seems like again, that little member berry about Vader. Wasn't he cool? I want to be cool like Vader. But anyway, his command cruiser recruited.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to go ahead and address this. So where
Which
did it
one?
go? Joseph Bennett, Dora the Gay Blade.
Oh dang!
Darth Gaylord.
Oh my God!
Everybody's spinning off all the things here. We're going to lose this. Okay, keep going.
No, okay.
If
I'm
you
sorry.
want this sword, you're gonna take it from me
Oh my.
forcefully.
Oh, there we go.
Whoa.
Giancarlo Esposito, if you ever see this, I loved you in Breaking Bad and Do the Right Thing. Okay, just want to put that out there.
I wonder how big those muscles are under that Fescar.
Oh my God, he was great in Breaking Bad. I
Wasn't
loved him.
I'm just
He was
thinking.
fantastic.
He just seems. I'm sorry. He carries himself in that show like he's playing the character as gay. That's all I'm gonna say.
In Breaking Bad?
No, in
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian, yeah. Because in Breaking Bad, he was much more sinister, reserved, but sinister. And that was kind of what I was looking for him to be in the Mandalorian. Call me biased, but I was looking for some kind of ominous presence to come with him. And it seemed to come off in the season 1 finale that he was in, and it just kind of went away a little bit. I was disappointed in that.
Mm-hmm.
So going forward, let's see. Moff Gideon's command cruiser recruited a fearsome crew to help him rescue baby Grogu from the clutches of the Imperial remnant. After a daring message to the Moff announcing his intentions, the Mandalorian seemed ready to fight through the whole ship to take the child back. Okay, so that's where we left off with episode 7. So, season finale starts right in the action as Din, Boba Fett, Cara Dune, and Fennec Shand commandeer an Imperial shuttle. Remember Barry there? Imperial shuttle from Return of the Jedi, carrying Dr. Pershing. They then meet up with Bo-Katan Kryze and Kasaka Reeves. Did I have that right?
Kasaka, yes, it was Kasaka Reeves. I guess. Sometimes you never know how to pronounce Star Wars names. And
okay, point here. Where's the dude that was with them when we first ran into Bo-Katan?
We brought that up the other day. We were like, "Yeah, where'd that guy go?"
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. Guess he had another job. I don't know.
We had a honeydew list.
Yeah, that's what everybody's joking about. And it's like, oh well, they sent him on a separate mission and blah blah blah. But when you associate like a trio or a group of people that have always shown up together, you then start wondering why someone's missing. Usually, a good show will kind of like give you an explanation of to why they're not there. And I was addressing that too, and I was told on Twitter, well, they had too many characters in the show, so they didn't put them in it. I'm like, what?
He's on Christmas holidays, guys. Come on.
That's BS. You know what that's called? That penis didn't want to pay. Didn't want to pay him to show up and didn't want to pay to write him in the show. It's like, come on, just be honest. Just be honest.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're in this rescue mission promising Gideon and the Darksaber in return for their help. Okay, that was in the galactic looking Starbucks kind of thing where they were at. And girl tried to basically whip Boba Fett's ass.
I think it was the same place as in Spaceballs.
Really?
I had the special.
They had
I love that movie.
Yes, I was talking about that. Like
Can I get the
Spaceballs right
soup?
now. Spaceballs right now is a better show than most of Star Wars right now.
That's just like how
is.
the Orville is better than Star Trek right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Funny how that works. And I almost want to say it's because you have such a love for the fandom that when you're spoofing it in a good natured
Exactly.
way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all need to learn from that. So anyway,
By the way, somebody wants attention, so we better give him some attention.
wants a
Because he's claiming that we don't pay attention to the chat, which we all know is not true. And our
Oh,
normal chat know is
we
not
do.
true.
never
I'm
after
in the chat.
well,
Yeah, we've never seen you before, so that's why
Yeah.
I'm guessing you're just a troll. So there you go. You got your attention.
Bye.
Hi, bye.
Well, thank you for joining us and
Yeah.
enjoy the show.
Mm-hmm. Please make sure to tip your waitress.
Yeah.
Going on here, after a brutal battle through the bowels of the old Imperial cruiser, Din confronts Gideon in a fierce dark saber Beskar spear fight. I wouldn't call it fierce, but okay. With Din prevailing and rescuing the child, much to the chagrin of Bo-Katan, who wanted to defeat Gideon herself to assert herself as Mandalore. So here's a question I got to ask you, Alora. Is Mandalore the ruler of Mandalore? Like, is that a title like king, or did they just like make this up?
Okay, so in the original lore, yes, Mandalore is basically the leader, but they don't believe in a ruler, and that's where you see the split with the pacifist with Satine in the Clone Wars. So in the original lore, yes, the Darksaber still existed, but it was soon forgot. It wasn't a symbol of leadership, and it was soon forgot. And they appointed leaders based upon their merits and stuff, and all that. Boba Fett himself was a Mandalore for a very long time after Return of the Jedi. So
okay,
yeah, what she said.
and then in this lore here, it's basically they don't know which way they want to go. Either it can be given to you, or you have to fight for it. So that's something that they're a plot hole that they're gonna have to try to square away.
Yeah, because I couldn't follow that.
Yeah,
and it made zero sense to me, and I'm like, okay, you needed to plan that out better and explain that out.
Well, it's either Favreau saying to Filoni, "I don't give a shit. I'm going to do what I want to do."
Yeah,
which he does have the power to.
Yeah.
Or Filoni didn't fight hard enough or point out, hey, by the way, that's not how it happened in the original show.
Yeah.
So it's a fail on Filoni's part there, if that's the case.
Yeah, and with that Darksaber, a Jedi Mando created it, very, very different than other sabers, basically, as you can tell. Mm-hmm. And in the lore, the family just passed it down with each other, like as leadership, and then it, like I said, it disappeared. But in their canon, it got passed down, and whoever obtained it basically was the leader. What I find funny is that they're making a weapon of a Jedi, even though they hate the Jedi, as a symbol of leadership. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't get along, I guess, like water and then vinegar. Like,
yes.
So that's why they couldn't have Boba Fett on the ship when Luke showed up, Mm-hmm. That'd have been awkward.
Yeah. Like, am I supposed to fight
Luke been like, ain't you dead?
And then Boba hates the Jedi. Yeah, and then Boba hates the Jedi on top of just the hatred that Mandos have because of Mace Windu. Killing Jango.
Mm-hmm. It's too bad they didn't bring back Mace. He's cool.
Yeah, I missed him. We didn't see a body though.
Yeah,
I think he's dead.
I mean, if Darth Maul survived that fall, I feel like
it's Disney Star Wars. No one dies anymore.
Yeah, Fortuna got blew the fuck up, and he's still alive.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, who the heck is this? Anyway, we'll get a little later.
Okay, let's go on.
a little bit later, but I'm just saying that.
I mean, who are you talking about blowing up? Freaking Palpatine got basically nuked, and he
did. He got nuked to the subatomic level, and next thing you know,
the dark side is the best two things that are unnatural.
So, besieged by a platoon of dark troopers on the bridge. Okay, I just want to talk about the dark troopers here for a minute. Why do they remind me of Cylons from Battlestar Galactica?
Why are they all black? Why can't they be more diverse?
I don't. Yeah, why can't
Oh.
they be like shiny Beskar, different
Are you trying to
shades of
say that?
Beskar?
Are you trying to
Little
say
things.
something here, huh, Disney?
Yeah.
Okay, so because I don't watch the show, unfortunately, unfortunately for me, because I don't waste my time on it, I had to Google what you're just talking about, and they do look like Cylons.
They look like Cylons, and when they fly, they all look like Iron Man.
Yes, they do. It's like,
and they got a
woo!
dubstep theme too.
Yes.
Yes. And
Wow.
people complain about that. And the thing someone pointed out to me is like, okay, so in this canon or Disney canon, they were, hoarding all the Beskar, all the metal from Mandalore. So why didn't Moff Gideon create these dark troopers with Beskar armor then? And then it would be hard. You would think also too, and I'm kind of jumping ahead, that they would know about Luke anyways, because Moff is up in the hierarchy of the Empire, and that
he would have that kind of intelligence information, right?
Right. So, anyways, we're skipping way ahead, but go ahead, keep going.
So this is in the timeline. I'm sorry again, just because
That's okay.
So this is in the timeline where Luke hasn't been forgotten yet, or has he been forgotten?
He should be known by now because of what he did for the Rebel Alliance, and because he's the most wanted man by the Empire.
Right. Okay.
All the communication that they had, you would definitely know who this guy was, and news from what happened when they blew up the second.
He's a fucking terrorist.
Yeah,
right.
To the Empire, he's a terrorist and stuff.
He's a terrorist. So they've probably got, wanted holograms all over the place of his face and how many, Imperial
He's Osama
credits.
bin Laden of the Star Wars.
I was gonna say he's like the Johnny Silverhand, but that's a cyberpunk reference. Those people
and it's
who are
only
playing
5
it.
years after Return of the Jedi. So I unless someone did like a Men in Black and flashed, why people's memory, he should be recognized.
Exactly.
Well, not only that, he should be feared by a lot of people, because you got to remember, like the Empire would be feeding this propaganda that, the rebels led by that scum Luke Skywalker.
Yes. Even Jabba knew who he was, even before Return of the Jedi, and stuff like that. So he was aware of him and stuff.
Yes, Jabba did know him.
Yes.
Negotiate rather than fight. And again, Dark Trooper. Anyway, they kind of just look like toys. So the heroes.
Maybe that's why they did it like that. Maybe they want to sell toys.
Well, I guess so. But if you're gonna do something like a Dark Trooper super soldier concept, they need to be like Terminator kind of ominous. And it just seemed more of a caricature rather than something that's dangerous, that doesn't eat, doesn't sleep, will never stop. It's like I didn't get that. It just seemed like, cool, we have all of these that go in the same direction and they punch through things and they fly when they go flying and blown out of the cargo bay.
And even in the original lore, like the Dark Troopers gave Jedi a hard time. They gave him a fight, and it didn't seem like Luke had any. There was no fight, basically.
No, it's just pretty much you're gone. You're gone. I'm kind of like, well, if they can get rid of that easily, okay, all right. I guess they look cool when they fly. I don't freaking know.
Is it kind of like in not Clone Wars? I'm sorry, the Attack of the Clones, where like the droid army is just like nothing compared to like it's kind of like
way superior than the Roger droids.
Yeah, the Roger droids. Roger. Yeah.
So they're supposed to be way superior, way challenging to defeat and stuff. And no.
And they got dubstep.
Yes, yes, Tom. He's like dubstep.
So most ominous, android, whatever, that title still belongs to the Cylons, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. So until the surprise arrival of Luke Skywalker in his X-Wing, I'm going to talk about this one for a little bit, because I did like how they built that up. Because all of a sudden this lone X-Wing shows up, and if you remember from The Empire Strikes Back, there was a lone X-Wing approaching Bespin. And they're just like, let it land. So it's kind of like lone X-Wing, kind of like, drifting in. And I think Cara Dune says, "Oh, great, one X-wing, we're saved." Like, yeah, that's not really gonna, do anything. And then all of a sudden, you don't hear any noise. The Dark Troopers stop,
But that
pounding the
that
door.
makes me wonder though when she has that sarcasm or she says that because
Mhm.
she was part of the Rebel Alliance military that came in after they defeated and she did they still had skirmishes and she helped with the cleanup and stuff. So she should be aware of like Rogue Squadron and them and their abilities to go against all odds.
Especially since they're basically guerrilla fighters.
Exactly.
Because that's part of the tactic. Guerrilla fighters, small, nimble, they go very fast.
Mhm.
So that's a good point, Laura. But yeah, he goes in. Luke Skywalker shows up. They kind of reveal it. He comes out. You see gloved hand. Wasn't quite sure it was him. Then you see the Green's lightsaber, and then flashbacks to what happened, I believe, in Rogue One with Vader. So he's slicing and dicing, force face push, move people around, get into the day, and then Mando's like, "Let him in." They're kind of like, "Are you crazy?" Yeah, it's like, go ahead, let him in. So they open the door and walks in, pulls off the hood, and we see what has to be one of the worst CGI faces. I'm glad it was Luke, but it's just like, damn, y'all really? You couldn't have, okay, maybe you were time crunched, but you couldn't at least taken some extra time to make it look more believable.
Hold on.
It seemed like
They
everybody
planned that
had.
ahead of time because Mark Hamill was had an NDA basically. They kept it a secret for a long time.
Yes.
So then you figured they would have time.
Do you think
they
it's
had time to
possible
do
that
it.
maybe it's not the scene that they actually planned out and then they decided to change it and make it Luke instead? So
No.
maybe they had something else worked out and then they were like, wait a minute, maybe we should Luke.
No,
Mark they addressed that. He's like, I'm glad they were able to keep this a secret for a long time. And then when you look past that, I think like 6 months ago, or like 6 months ago, maybe a little bit further than that. Yeah, Mark hinted around about him signing contract to allow them to use his face for CGI.
Yeah, his likeness.
And it's like,
Yeah.
what they did was, and I saw a video from Clownfish TV where that was actually Mark Hamill, but what they did was they de-aged him. And whatever algorithm
It's the same
used
tech that they used
Yeah.
for Ant-Man and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Which is creepy.
The
I
Irishman?
almost want to say it looked better in Ant-Man.
No, I think the Irishman was deep fake, and that's one of the things that we were saying. And some other guy, I keep forgetting his name, but he deep faked it in a few days, and it looks better.
Yeah,
I have that. I have that. You want me to pull that up?
Sure, that's up to you. I don't think it's long enough that we get in too much trouble. But outside of the lips, because the lips are going by the original CGI, it looks better. And I figured out watching this why I think that is, and that's because you have the CGI technology. It's just that uncanny animated PS3 kind of thing going on with the eyes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
As opposed to the deep fake where they actually used footage of Return of the Jedi. They fed it into the AI or whatever you call it, the thing.
Okay.
And so basically what it's doing then is putting an actual mask of Mark Hamill over top. So that I feel like that's where the life comes in. It feels so much different. It looks so much better.
You get a realistic baseline.
I'm not gonna play it so we don't get in trouble. This is the original.
Oh, you can play a few seconds of it.
Oh,
Look how much light is in the eyes and stuff. Like there's nothing there.
Exactly, because you have an actual baseline using the face. So the basic rendering of the face is the baseline to start with. Where the one on the left, it's almost kind of, I want to say like they're just erasing from scratch. If that makes any sense, it's kind of just like, okay.
I've been playing with some deep fakes myself on my channel, and I mean, it really is not that hard to, especially if you're Disney and you have a lot of resources.
I think it's just either they had a time crunch, and two, the people working on it, not the A team when it comes to doing CGI.
Well, we came up with another reason why it could be. We were talking about it this morning. It could be because since they own ILM probably doesn't own the deepfake tech.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
So
That
that's
could be a
probably why they
reason.
didn't want to use
Well,
it.
there's
If
kind of
they would have to
agreement,
pay
right?
for it. Yeah. What was that?
Yeah.
Sorry.
An agreement or something. They would have to go into a
Oh,
contract.
they'd have to
agreement.
license it or pay
Yeah.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
That was our guess, though. That was just a speculation, but that makes the most sense.
It
Because
does.
really, time, money wise, all this other business, they own Return of the Jedi, so they don't have to pay anybody to use that for the deep fake
Yeah.
part of it.
I mean,
Right.
when it comes
Yeah.
to paying, people, they're not even paying their writers. Remember that whole thing that happened? So
It's interesting you bring that up, but
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
we may or
So-
may not be talking to that person very soon on the main
Ooh.
channel here.
nice.
Maybe tomorrow afternoon. I'll be talking to a few people to work that out. We'll see here.
Perfect.
That'd be cool. So Mando says goodbye to Grogu, and he removes his helmet, so we see his face again.
Oh, so you see Pedro?
Yeah, Pedro. Yes, we see
Pedro.
Pedro.
So I gotta ask you, ladies, how many of you actually believed his denial?
I don't
Denial of-
know.
So they asked him flat out about the whole mask business,
Yeah.
and he said, "Oh no, that's not true." Like he's going to admit to being a big prima donna.
Yeah,
but
I don't believe
Oh,
that.
no.
Because
Yeah, I
actors
didn't
do
believe
pull
that.
some of the craziest
Because
scandal
after
crap
this
on the set.
episode and that one, the one with Bill Burr, it's like there's no way he didn't make a fuss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he made a fuss.
He
He
did.
he was a
did.
prima donna for
He's
sure.
trying to save face. Like, no, I didn't do that. Who said that? Yeah, you did. You
And
did.
he's not going to speak against it anyways because, Disney's so good with their NDAs and stuff. He's not going to speak against it.
Mm-mm.
That's another good point too, Laura.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mouse doesn't play when it comes to NDAs. That episode of South Park. So he lets Luke leave with him to train him as a Jedi. And before I forget the line that Luke said that stuck with me, what was it? That talent without training.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Basically, that line. You can have talent, but without training to develop it, it's pretty much useless. So, Ray. Anyway,
I thought that was good. I thought that was a gem right there because
like
I've spoke about this the whole time, and so hopefully I don't know if it's going to be retcon because they said, oh well, now they can download, and the only thing that if they want to retcon that or to explain it over that from this is saying, well, this is a new skill that came about or whatever, or whatever.
Like force healing.
Yeah, like force healing, eventually we've seen force healing introduced in the lore, and stuff after the expanded universe and stuff. So, but I like the Sting because it's true. They do need training. It's not just something that you just do or inherit. You have to train.
Yeah, it's not just handed to you.
I
And
thought that
one
was
of the
established in episode 1 when they found out, Anakin had like one of the highest midi-chlorian, counts or whatever, and he was basically a force user, but had to be trained to be able to be a Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was part of the journey which we wanted to see and which we did see. The training that he had to do to learn how to use the Force. Even with the first movie in episode 4, where Luke is trying to learn how to deal with the Force. It was that training that you needed. It didn't your ability, okay, that's fine. But the Force isn't something that you can just, here's
Harness,
a box. Yeah, you can go and do whatever. No, you had to learn how to use it.
Yeah, and that's like even magic and stuff. You may have the abilities, but you have to learn to use it and harness those powers as well. And so it's not like this I can't even friggin'
Deus Ex Machina.
There we go.
Xmas?
Xmas, yes. I'm thinking of Christmas and my
Xbox.
Yeah, Xbox, all that. You just can't get your joystick and use it.
Oh, that's good.
Oh goodness.
Best line. I love that line. I cheered when I heard that line. I loved it. So freaking true. So after that, it says, and Boba Fett basically declares himself the new king of Tatooine. Yeah, I guess Bib Fortuna, he didn't quite get blown up. And you come back and he's packed on some pounds and sitting on Jabba's throne. And apparently, Boba Fett comes
That
in.
guy was so fat. Like, he let
What
himself
happened to
go.
Gardola? Where's Gardola?
That's my point. Yeah, and I'm gonna expand on this now. Okay, so what happened to all the other Hutts? They were always vying for leadership of the crime syndicate in the Outer Rim. From Nar Shaddaa all the way to Tatooine and stuff. They were always vying for it, and Jabba Hutt even has a son that was established in the Clone Wars, which is Disney canon.
That's right.
Where is he?
Yeah, Baby Hutt.
Baby Hutt. Yes.
Baby Hutt.
Before there was Baby Yoda, there was Baby Hutt.
Yes, there we go.
Ugly little booger, isn't he?
Yeah.
I hated that fucking baby. I hated that fucking movie. It was like me and one other person in the theater the night I saw that movie. I'm like, God, I'm just as pathetic as that sad moron.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So yeah, basically, so now Boba Fett, I guess Boba Fett mob boss now with Fennec Shand by his side and the Book of Boba Fett. So that's basically the bonus scene after the credits where you see that. So it's nice to see the twin sons, and then they pan and you see Jabba's palace and all that. But we'll see what happens. I'm strangely fascinated by that. So
I like how you say strangely
fascinated because it's like the dude just shows up and you're just like, aren't you dead? I was like, shouldn't he be dead? And two,
he wasn't dead.
Hutts?
Yeah, Boba, he wasn't dead in the original lore either.
Oh, I mean,
Bib Fortuna.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I heard somebody said they brought him back too, right, Laura?
Yes, they brought him back. He survived. They friggin' like ditched Jabba. His own people jumped the barge when Leia was strangling him. But like, we're out, peace, and they left.
Well, I mean, you know that saying, like, no one really dies in sci-fi. Well, I mean, no one really definitely dies in Star Wars. Unless we're a Jedi that turns into a Force ghost, in which case, I mean, technically you're not dead then either, are you?
It's like you kind of.
Well, we could talk about that too, and with the Force Ghost, Obi-Wan eventually made his way into the other realm, so he didn't stay around after a certain amount of time either. So Disney Star Wars, no one really dies. The original one, people do, in a more or less. So
well, and Baru and the other they died.
Yeah,
yes, they did.
Yeah,
and that's the joke going around right now. Is like, we're waiting for Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen to show up now.
Correct.
Yeah, and like poor Anakin's mom, man, she died a really graphic death. Like that was hardcore.
Mm-hmm. Why didn't Anakin save her and heal her? According to Disney Star Wars, he should have been able to do that.
Yeah, most powerful, Force user there, but had no idea how to heal his mom.
Yeah,
something major fail.
Disney canon is a hell of a drug. Anyway, all in all, the rescue gave fans everything they could have asked for in a finale. Great action, fun twists and surprises, major cliffhangers, and a couple of truly bittersweet moments. A lot changed in less than an hour, actually 44 minutes of screen time, and it will be fascinating to see how the story handles those changes in season 3. Until then, there are some major questions for fans to speculate over. The season 2 finale had a lot of stuff in it. It had a lot of stuff in it. I had a couple of nits, with it.
I heard it sucked unless it was basically the only reason that it was any good was because Luke showed up. I heard otherwise it kind of sucked.
I would disagree with that assessment. Compared to, if I look at the whole season as a whole of season 2, the first 2 episodes sucked ass. I was literally ready to bail out of The Mandalorian because it was ridiculous. It was all over the place. didn't interest me. It just seemed to drag, like, what's the freaking point of this? And then things kind of started to pick up. So by the end, by the last episode, it was a finale like a finale should be, with a lot of action, a lot of conflict. Towards the end, you don't know if our heroes are going to survive or not. So based on that season, it was good for a finale. If you're talking about consistency from season to season, no, that's not there. So if you wanted to give it a grade based on both seasons, I'd give it maybe like a B. But contained within season 2, considering how crappy it started out and how it ended, I'd give it an A that way. So it had a lot of stuff in it. Unlike the rest of the episodes, I would actually watch this one twice. But yes, having Luke at the end was a definite bonus. And I believe, I forget who said this online or who had it online, this is the most popular episode that they have.
Because of let's face it. Yeah, let's face it. Luke was a huge member berries, and they gave him an action scene. So that was a very huge pandering to try to save the IP. That's how I see it.
I would say not really, because I don't disagree with you at all.
That's kind of how I feel about it too.
I wouldn't say, I don't really want to say pandering, but it's like how people see it. Some people see it as pandering. Some people see it as fan service. Some people see it as, I was happy to see it. Because I know for me, I was happy to see it. And honestly, they had no freaking choice because they had to do something.
And the only thing that carried season 2 a lot more was all the introduction of the secondary guest characters. They never really developed Din on his own.
They didn't. And I think I said this in a couple of episodes before of Toxic Femme. Them bringing in all of these secondary characters tells me that you do not have confidence in the world that you built in the first season. So what's the point of the show? Of course, now it seems the point of the show is just to spin off all of these other shows, because I thought The Mandalorian, considering I didn't read anything about it with the EU, I thought that it was going to tell me who the Mandalorian is, what the Mandalorians were, and why should I care about it. And I didn't get that. It's just like, getting Baby Yoda to where it is that he needs to go. So with this, it's like they had to do something, and they went drastic with one of the biggest member berries that they could go by outside of Boba Fett. And it's sad that it came to that. I was glad to see Luke, but I will say that this alone, having Luke show up, is not going to save them. It's not going to save the series.
But I think that it's not going to be again. Take everything I say with a grain of salt, because I haven't watched the show. Okay,
bring the salt. Bring the salt.
But I think that if they do, because this is going to give them some time, right? Like between now and the next season, there's going to be some time, obviously with the pandemic going on and everything, and all these shows that they have planned, and possibly apparently a Luke Skywalker series, which we will talk about. With all this stuff that's going to come out, they have time to figure out what they should put in the third season. So one of the things, and like one of the biggest questions, is what are they going to do with Baby Yoda and Luke, obviously. So I think that possibly Luke might have a bigger role in the third season, because they want to say, like, look, he's training Baby Yoda, and like, look, he's possibly starting that other what's the word, like Jedi Order that should have been built, possibly, like, maybe like he's gonna hide him again, somewhere else, or like, I don't know, maybe open a freaking space-time continuum and hide him from Kylo Ren somehow.
I don't want any of that bull crap in there, like the worlds between worlds, because then the writers can, later on down the road will say, well, let's retcon the OT and the PT and totally change that. Now that's a huge like writing excuse to put other things in whenever they feel like it.
Well, I just think that because of the reception that it received, people were crying, man. Like this is, I mean, this was unreal. Like some of the reactions from some people was, like off the charts. So, like the people at Disney are probably like just ecstatic right now. Like, they're happy. So
the bean counters are.
yeah, and they're gonna want to milk that.
I know
So I feel like,
Favreau is.
yeah.
Kathleen Kennedy might be stomping her way to China right now.
Mm.
But one of the things that, and I know with seeing Luke come back, the part that also hit me after kind of like the high came down, I think the reason why I reacted so positively towards that was because of how bad they freaking treated his character in The Last Jedi.
So bad that I never want to watch Disney Star Wars again.
I'd never in my life as a Star Wars fan would have thought that I would wind up seeing what I did in The Last Jedi, to the point where I didn't look at anything Star Wars for a year because I couldn't believe that they did that. I kept watching the movie thinking, okay, this is a dream, some kind of weird force dream or whatever. He's going to wake up. And I don't mind that Luke threw away his lightsaber because he's going to go back and find it. Something's going to happen where he's going to go back and find it, and he's going to come to his senses, and everything's going to be great, and it's going to turn out. And that never happened.
Yeah.
It never happened.
Well, do you remember when JJ talked about, like, I was having, when Rey came up to Luke on the island, he was levitating like all these boulders and stuff. And then Ryan's like, well, that's not in my script. You need to take it out. You remember that?
Yeah.
I don't think
Ryan Johnson.
I do remember that.
Yeah, Ryan Johnson did have Luke up on that, that cliff area when Rey goes to find him, and he's there levitating boulders, like he's meditating kind of situation. And then he was requested to take that out because Ryan had a separate idea for that.
That makes
sense. There was a lot of stuff like that.
That makes sense a bit more because I hear that, and the only thing I'm picturing is in The Empire Strikes Back, where he's starting to learn how to train, and he has to like balance the rock.
Yeah.
And that would.
And he has his boulder moments where he's got all these huge boulders levitating around him.
Yeah, he had a lot of moments like that. Apparently, that Rian Johnson was like, "Nah."
Yeah, you said Rian Johnson.
Ruin. We could just call him Ruin.
Because that's exactly exactly what it was. So scooching on here, they're talking about what will happen to Grogu. The unthinkable has happened. Baby Yoda has seemingly departed the Mandalorian. Actually, I was kind of happy.
Wait, so hold on. That's what the Mandalorian looks like when he takes off his helmet?
Yeah.
Man, they couldn't have put like some scar on his face or something. Make him look cool.
He looks too pretty to go to jail.
He never takes his helmet off, so he doesn't have any scars.
Doesn't take it off. But he could have kind of looked like his character in Narcos. Just a little.
I mean, he doesn't even have a beard or anything. Not even a scruff.
No, it's very, very, very small. But yeah, so he takes his helmet off, which is kind of touching. But I'm actually kind of glad.
It was kind of touching, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that was very underwhelmed.
I think because, again, it's just like we've seen him take it off. And it's not like they've kept it a secret. I think if he would have kept his helmet on during both seasons and then took it off here, it would have actually meant something.
Disney has a problem with that. They made Kylo Ren take off his helmet in the first freaking 10 minutes of that movie. And I was like, dude, why don't you let them keep it on so there's a mystery? So
you don't take it off. I mean, even in Empire Strikes Back, where Vader's having his helmet put back onto the meditation chamber, whoever, I don't think it was a Moff, but he came in, he almost seemed embarrassed.
Yeah, he's one of the commanders or something like that.
He almost seemed embarrassed to see that. And we're kind of just like, I don't think we should see, to see
He's
that.
afraid
Because
he was going to get choked out.
Oh, he was
That's true.
so scared that
Yeah,
was.
they don't have that
out.
presence. He's like, oh
Mhm.
shit, I'm here at the wrong time. What's going to happen?
He almost
It's gonna
shat his
be
pants.
now, you know. Oh my gosh. So I'm kind of glad that Baby Yoda is on the way out. At least it seems to right now. So it
Oh
says that-
no! Oh Lorena, no way! No
Yeah,
way!
I think he's going to die at the temple. He's going to have
Yeah.
to do continuity.
No, come on, you guys.
I
No.
believe it. Here's why.
I do too.
Here's why. The reason why is one of the best storytelling elements that you can use is to make you emotionally invest in a character, and that character winds up dying.
No way! No way!
Yeah.
You know why? No way!
And it's
Because
working right now on her because of this.
No,
I
because
know.
he
Don't
makes way
wanna
too
say
much
it.
money. He makes way too much money. The toys, like everything.
Oh,
There's
he
no
will
way they're gonna get rid of
He
him.
will be immortalized in toys forever.
Chewbacca makes a lot of toy, like in the past for the before the buyout, even though he was killed in the lore, he still made a lot of
Yeah.
sell toys profit.
Yeah.
The lore, I'm sorry, Alora, but the lore doesn't count because he didn't die in the movies. So
It
no one
doesn't matter. That's comparison between that as
Mhm.
well. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. But I agree. Something that Baby Yoda Grogu needs to be taken out. It's an
Mhm.
emotional thing. If you put this much emotion into the character, then
Yeah.
I think you're right. I don't think we'll see Grogu again unless that Luke Skywalker series is a thing. Because this next season, they've clearly set up what Mandalorian season 3 is going to be.
Yeah.
It's going to be him running from Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
mhm.
Maybe
Yeah.
you'll see him. Maybe you'll see him again in like the season finale, and then
Maybe.
yeah. And
Here's
then,
something that's interesting that they write here. But is he really gone forever? Storyline tropes and the character's immense popularity suggest not. There is no mention of Grogu in the sequel's discussion of Luke's Jedi trainees, nor in any of the ancillary texts Disney has published. In fact, some of those texts mention Ben Solo as the first Jedi Luke trained. That would now either need to be retconned or something would have to happen to Grogu before he began his training.
are they even gonna like maybe introduce Ben at all? You guys think like
Hope
He might
not.
even okay, so at this point, what year was Ben born? Let me look it up.
because
I think he might be like 4 years old at the time frame.
Not quite yet. I don't think he's born yet.
Let me see here. Let me see. Yeah, because that's interesting right there.
Could be, though. I don't know.
Or they might just go ahead and open up the box that George didn't want to, and he's returned back to his actual people.
but what?
Yoda.
Oh, Yoda. Oh,
Yeah. Baby Yoda.
I thought you were talking about Ben.
Oh, baby GoPro.
I'll be
Okay.
honest. I think we've seen the last of him. If he's not, unless we have a Luke Skywalker series, I do. I think we've seen the last.
I agree with you, Tom. I think we are done with him, and that I believe his fate is at that temple. I do.
It could be. It could be.
That's what I'm thinking.
No way! No way! He makes way too much money, man. No.
It's kind of like a celebrity when they die, all their memorabilia becomes more valuable.
Yeah. All right. So Ben Solo was born 4 or 5 ABY, so a year after Endor.
Oh, okay. So he's already born, probably.
Yeah, so he's
Yeah.
like 4 years older, near that age. Yeah.
So maybe that's what the Luke Skywalker series is going to be about, him training Ben and Baby Yoda.
Could be.
Which links the ST. Yep. Yep.
See. So yeah, as I said, for now, it looks like the show will be taking a break from Baby Yoda. Huh?
But we've
Yeah.
definitely got to check in with these super chats here. I know
Yes,
this is
we do.
Yes,
So
such a huge story, but
we've already talked
you guys have been
about
so patient.
that.
So
Yeah, let's definitely do super chats. Let's see.
and then we can move on to the next part. Yeah.
Okay, so first one, Willie Woodward for $5. Thank you so much, Willie. Merry
Willie.
Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, ladies, and Tom. Damn, ladies, you look hella gorgeous. Okay, I have to be good with the chats. Also, how you doing, Alora?
Oh my God.
Whoa. How you doing?
How you doing? All right. So we have Larry at 199. Thank you for joining us. A thumbs up. Thank you.
Right, super sticker.
And you guys hit the like button, or I like to say caress the like button.
Yes. And
Give us
share
the
the
love.
screen. And share the screen.
You can lick it. I used sanitary stuff on it.
We are very
Sharing and caring.
cautious about your health.
So, like, oh my God, Matt G for like $5. Seeing Luke in a scene with TV characters was crazy. OG in the EU. Is there any history between Luke and Mandalore? Should Luke and Bo-Katan each other?
That is like very vague. Each other.
Is it do each other? I don't know.
They probably think to know each other, and she knows of Jedi, and like I said, he was broadcasted as like poster boy of the Rebel Alliance as well as the most wanted of the Empire. So she should have some information because she's high up there too, who kind of keeps track of everything going on in the galaxy. You would think she would know. Just like you would think Kara would recognize him again when she's seen him. Like, oh yeah, he's one of the higher commands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would think so.
Yeah.
Was 16-bit mascot for $3.50. Thank you so much. Okay, I'll super chat. Sheesh. And hi, Tom.
How you doing?
That's cool. I love that. All right, Johnny David at Australian 5. Thank you so much. Thank you for being there for us all in 2020. Grateful to have found you all. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from West Oz. My family to yours. Well, thank you so much for watching us from down under. We appreciate you. Yes, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yes.
You guys want to hear my ho ho ho? Just because I don't know why.
Okay, let's hear your ho ho ho.
Lay it on us.
Ho 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 ho!
Hey, phrase it.
Damn it, Tom! You have to ruin it.
Do it again.
No.
You just killed the moment, Tom. You killed
the
it.
moment.
Yeah, you killed it.
I don't believe you.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so Matt G again. Okay,
Yeah.
oh my God, it's Matt G again for $2. At least Bib got killed by another OT character. Like, oh my God.
And Matt G for another $5. Let's see. Like, oh my God, if Grogu could survive Vader's raid on the Jedi Temple, he could easily survive Kylo Ren. Vader had clones to back him up. Kylo didn't, and Kylo's an idiot for sure.
As if.
By the way, we all miss Mandy. She's out. She's off with her family. Just want to send some love to Mandy.
Yeah, Mandy.
Thanks, Sandy. We
Enjoy
miss you,
your family.
girl.
It's that time of year, so no worries.
Well, I'll do this last part here that has to do with what will Din Djarin do with the Darksaber? Those he's given. Oh, who the heck edited this? Though he's given up on the child, Din has acquired something new. Get your stuff together, Screen Rant. By besting Gideon in single combat, which that was no fight. He has won the Darksaber by right and is now technically the ruler of Mandalore. What do you think about that, Laura?
That's such a crazy. Like I said, it's a plot hole because it used to be handed down and then you were the ruler. Now you have to fight for it, but then you don't. Then it can be given to you, and if you accept it, then you can be. So there's so much odds. It's plot convenience at the time, which way they go. Mm-hmm. That's how I see it. So this is something that they're gonna have to clarify later, or or through the show or something. Because it's very inconsistent in the lore.
Okay, because it came off as pretty inconsistent, even with the dialogue, we're kind of
then how? Go ahead.
And it was kind of just did she take it, not take it? what is he getting out of it? He has it.
Yeah.
It just seemed kind of convoluted as to basically just say flat out, you know, I didn't win it in combat, so
yeah,
I got to fight you for it.
Yeah. And Bo was given, she took it without a fight before. So I mean that's the thing is like is it this way or is it that way? What's the circumstances going on here to clarify it for the people? You know, and then why are they really like glorifying a sword that is of the Jedi, basically, because this is a Jedi sword, as a leadership tool or you know, thing for it to be ruler, when, you know, in the original lore they didn't really need that. In fact, that was long forgotten and stuff. So I mean, so there's a lot of things that I see, but they need to figure out which way they want to go with that. So maybe that will be resolved next season.
I hope so, because that was so much more confusing than it needed to be, the way that they portrayed it.
Yeah.
So he tries to give the sword to Bo-Katan, wanting nothing to do with it, but she refuses to accept the gift as it would not be seen as a valid victory by her people. That opens up a ton of possibilities for plot lines and drama in season 3.
Yeah.
I just want to say I love this girl because she was Starbuck, and that's all I have to say about that.
I have another reason why I like it. Boob armor rocks. That's all.
Yeah.
Oh God, yes. And just imagine like the outrage that this caused. It was
focus on her boob armor. You're not focusing on how cool her helmet is, and you know, and like all the design on her helmet. But no, you're mad because God forbid her armor has boobs on it.
And Vertical Horizon has a good point. Duchess Satine did not need it when ruling Mandalore.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I was asking the other day, actually, I didn't even know about the dark saber thing, and I was like, how come they never had a black lightsaber? Because there's like all these colors. And then somebody was like, well, there's the dark saber, and I was like, that's not really the same thing though. Like it's like,
yeah, it's the same. It's the same concept. What came of this is that originally the first wielder was just going to wield a vibro blade, and it was changed to a lightsaber, but still looking like a regular blade, naming it dark saber, even though there's a crystal in there and it ignites the same way. It just doesn't have the circular, you know, like tube, I guess you can say.
Cool.
Yeah, it doesn't have that pulsing light movement.
The pulsing light thing is so cool, though. It's so iconic.
It's very cool. But I will say that the dark saber looked a lot better this season than when it was first shown in season 1, because that looked like one of the worst CGI jobs.
Do you think that they might change those dark troopers then too, because they look like crap apparently? So maybe they'll change it for like the next season.
We'll see. We'll see. One of the things that I've said about The Mandalorian is that their show running is so inconsistent. They need to run that show like Game of Thrones was run from seasons 1 through 4. That's the consistency that I need to see. And I think until we see something like that, it's going to be all over the place. So we'll see. They've got like, I guess, another year or so, because the book of Boba Fett is supposed to kick off next year. So they've got about a year, and they'll start pre-production. So we'll see how that goes.
Yes, so let's get into that right now. All right.
Do you want to bring up Jeremy Bullock first?
Go ahead.
Okay, let me bring that up. But I know
we want to read these super chats before we get into that.
You know what do we have? We have 3. Yes, why don't we go ahead? Alora, why don't you go ahead, because I got the last one.
All right. So Mr. Mr. Pete channel needs 900 subs. Well, go sub to him, you guys, okay? $5 super chat. Book of Fett, chapter 1, verse 1. And henceforth Boba stormed Jabba's and slayeth the guards and struck down Fortuna and thy throne. I put thy because it sounds better. Then we rejoiced.
Amen.
also need 900 subs, so sub to me as well. I'm just saying. Thanks for that.
Sub to all the ladies.
Yeah, just make your rounds if you haven't done it already. Yes.
Exactly.
Tim Briggs for $4.99. Thank you so much. The Mandalorian accomplished for me what so few things have recently. Be entertaining enough for me to be able to ignore the flaws while watching. Well, that's great though. I don't watch it because I don't personally enjoy Disney Star Wars, and I just can't. So I don't watch it because I don't want to hate watch stuff. So and I love the fact that so many people are happy, and I love the fact that people love it. That's great. You gotta love what you love. That's what it's all about. And if you enjoy it, great. Go, watch it, enjoy it. That's what it's all about. That's what entertainment is supposed to be about. So
absolutely,
all the power to you, man. That's awesome.
You're not wrong if you like it.
Yeah,
you're not.
Absolutely,
you're not. Cool. So Matt G for another $2. Like, you don't have to fight for the Darksaber if it's Friday.
I was gonna say, I wonder if it'll boil down to who has the saber and who they have to fight, but I doubt it. They're not smart enough. I don't know about that.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops, I think I pulled up the wrong. Oh, there we go. All right, so let's get to this.
We got one more super chat here.
One more.
I didn't even see that. Someone else picked that up while I square my crap away.
Okay, sure. Leland for $15. You know what? I already, Nita, why don't you go ahead and get it? Since it says hi,
Leland for $15. Thank you so much. That's a lot of dough. Thanks, man. If you could have a Star Wars craft as your personal vehicle, which one would you pick? P.S. Hi, Nina. Hi, Leland.
Pussy wagon.
Oh my God, what is that?
You know what? I would want that Imperial Star Destroyer.
Wow. I mean, as your personal vehicle?
Hell yeah. Go big or go home.
Why do you think the Moffs had their own?
What about the Death Star?
It's got that design flaw in it. I'm not too keen on that. You get some drunken Imperial pilot fly his TIE fighter into it and blow it up.
I love spaceships and stuff, but since I think he's asking personal vehicle, like in terms of planetary vehicle, maybe, I don't know. I'm just reading into this. But if it's a planetary vehicle, I would love to either have the vehicle that Anakin rode off on in that really cool scene, like when he's going to kill the village.
Oh, a speed racer? Or
that thing is freaking awesome. And also when that kind of like that vehicle, the car that they have that they're driving in Coruscant, that thing was dope. I love that. I love that car.
Yeah.
Okay.
That flying car.
Laura, do you want to get this $15 super chat, or are you still pulling something out?
No, I got it.
What about your craft?
Oh yeah, I got your craft. Yeah, your personal craft.
Okay, I'm sitting here talking. I'm not even in here. Yeah, I was gonna say. I forgot Laura's craft.
Oh my God. My vehicle. I think I liked the yacht that Padme had.
Ooh, I love that yacht.
That has class. That's class right there.
Oh,
that's the one that's like silvery, like
yes.
Yes, that's dope. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so that right there, and then put a little bit more weapons and stuff on there. There you go.
Scoop it up.
And then also I like Jade Shadow too as well. So that's another one. Yeah.
Nice.
All right. So we do have Leland at $15. Ladies, if you could have a Star Wars craft. So basically, you guys read this one.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, the one that's on the screen is the one we have left.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm like reading something else. Okay. All right. McNick. I think I said that right.
NYC.
Mr. Nice.
NYC. Okay.
Oh.
$15. I do need my glasses on today. I think Disney is paying attention to what the fans have been saying, what they wanted for years, mainly due to Midnight's Edge and other channels. Thank you and Merry Christmas. You too.
Merry Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Would
think
like
you're
to think so, but
They know we're out here.
already, yeah, they already know which way they're heading for this. They're gonna do little like nostalgic stuff here and there just to keep fans, interested. But I just don't think they're gonna course correct anything.
No, it's kind of like what Doomcock says, stay angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So are you guys ready for the next topic?
we do
Yeah.
have one very last super chat here before
Okay,
we
there we
might as
go.
well
Okay,
grab.
I'll grab this one. Tim Riggs for $4.99. Thank you so very much. Gina Carano is by far the most beautiful and believable strong woman in anything Disney has put out in the last 20 years. Damn, that woman is awesome. Definitely an awesome character.
she's pretty great.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
All
And
right.
she's a good person, so
Yeah. So here it is. And so people, here we go. So we have the book of Boba Fett. Dun, dun, dun.
OG, wait, read Willie's super chat.
You know
before
what
you-
has to do.
Oh goodness, what's going on? OG has to put on her haughty librarian glasses on.
It's so hot.
It's hot.
Hot.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Here. All right. And so thank you so much for that $2 super chat. Thank you so much. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. All right. So we have the True Fashion little logo design here. And what I find funny, and it's a nitpick, but I'm just laughing at it. Okay. So it's just humor in my eyes, is that they had him repaint his armor, but then they're going to do a font kind of logo with a stuffed up armor type thing.
Can I just tell you how irritating that was? I'm like, why spend time to spray paint his armor when it's just gonna get dinged again?
Yeah, and they no matter what, they don't redo their armor like that. They no matter whatever is earned, that armor scuffs, dings, whatever, dents or whatever, they kept.
I'm sorry, but that's really funny because I didn't know that little detail.
I didn't either.
About them like making him repaint it. But because before I knew that, I was like, that's kind of cool. Like they're like it's like it's like his armor. It's like nice little whatever. And then you're like, oh yeah, they made him repaint it. It's like what the.
It just looked weird because if you see him, in the original trilogy and then the prequel trilogy, his armor always looks dinged up and jacked up. That's like his distinctive look to me. It's kind of like battle scars. I took one here and I took one here, and yeah, I'm proud of that. I'm walking around with them, and then he's got a paint job.
And people are like, oh, he's doing a fresh start because he didn't have it for so many years, and that never really count because the only time. It's supposed to be a hand-me-down from Django, and that's part of the original lore too as well. So when he got it, he painted it green and red. Green and red symbolizes like family, like, and then what was the other one? I wish Orange Hat was here. Family and loyalty or something like that or whatever. So I might be wrong on that again. I don't have it in front of me. So the significance of the colors is to remember Django, basically. And honor him. And the only time he really had new armor and then repainted it again, or I wouldn't even see repainted it, is when he did actually get Beskar Gam, our traditional Mandalorian armor.
Oh, sorry, Laura. I didn't mean to interrupt you real quick, but we missed this super chat from Tim Riggs. So Tim Riggs for $4.99. You ladies are the most beautiful and wonderful to listen to women on YouTube since it went out of beta. Keep it up. Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So we have Boba Fett is back. Obviously, we know that because, seriously, he's like one of the most notable characters ever. And, when you look at it, Mandalorian armor and all that came from his stylization that, George created. So, and it's just the beginning. As teased in the surprise end credits sequence following the season finale of The Mandalorian, the legendary bounty hunter's journey will continue in the book of Boba Fett. Okay, ladies, so how did you guys feel about that? If you want to share. Did I lose you? Uh-oh.
Forgot to have my thing on mute. Sorry, I was looking at something else really quick. I'm sorry, Laura. Can you please?
She's back.
Can you please
oh my God. Okay. I don't know what you guys heard of that. I am so sorry.
No, that was their fault.
That was me. I was muted. I was muted, and I had the nerve to look at Twitter at the same time.
Nina was the only one who said "be right back." So
I'm sorry, honey.
I get to do this very rarely. Besides Rob, so just let me do this.
You're fired. You're unfired. I need you. Come here.
She got her first fired, unfired kind of thing. All right. So what did you think about this when I know not the scene of like seeing what had happened at the palace, but well, maybe that and the announcement. What did you think?
For me, Boba Fett is one of those side characters that I like, but if he disappeared, it wouldn't really bother me. Because I know for me, the most interesting part of Boba Fett to me was his interaction with Darth Vader, because the fact that Vader told him no disintegrations, that tells me they had a working relationship. So I'm kind of like, well, how does that work?
Yeah.
So you see him for like, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes before he's Sarlacc bait in Return of the Jedi, and then he shows
You
up
really think that's what the no disintegration thing means?
I just thought it was kind of funny as they.
I always thought, and this is just me. I always thought what it meant was either A, he has this notorious tendency to vaporize people, and he doesn't want that happening this time around.
Yeah.
Or it's kind of like the same thing of like, dead or alive when it comes to like bounties. To me, like, even if you kill them, they still require you to bring back the body or something to prove that the person is dead. Like if you disintegrate somebody, there ain't going to be anything left.
Yeah. It's kind of like the funny thing of, wow, this must be his bounty hunter of choice. Like the one.
So I thought it was kind of either A, he was just saying, and this, like, again, this is just my interpretation. I thought he was just saying it either A, just because he had a reputation for doing something like that, or B, it was like a way of bounty hunters saying, yeah, I got the person, I disintegrated them, but you can't prove that they're really dead. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. And but Boba Fett was also a character that he loved working on his own, but he's also was also a businessman. So whether there was supposed to be bring the body back, dead or alive or whatever, he stuck to that plan. And so yes, he did have interaction with Vader, even in the original EU, to where they fought each other, and Vader basically just almost tore him down, but respectively so. Yeah.
With Boba Fett, it's kind of like I'm intrigued. I want to see what they do, because it could turn out to be something pretty cool, pretty interesting to see what they do with it. Over the moon excited. No, I can't say that, because then again, this is Disney we're dealing with. This is one of the biggest member berries out there. Next to Luke Skywalker is Boba Fett. So you're already starting off. You don't have to do a whole lot of world building.
Well, and then they're doing the same thing with regards to the member berries. They're doing that with like Obi-Wan and Vader and Ahsoka and everything. So,
Lando.
Yeah, it's like maybe a small percentage is a show that's based upon their own characters.
Yes, original, their own original characters, their own original world building. With this, it's kind of like it's like a one-off of a reboot. It kind of feels like to me. So it's
but that's what Disney is doing, and they have every right. So, and that was the reason why they got rid of the original EU, was creative freedom, and we don't have source material kind of bullcrap. But anyways, they do have the right to reinvent Star Wars in their eyes. Now, I really didn't mind that, as long as they still kept continuity and did not screw up the 6 original movies. But they obviously did. And and I was a little bit curious on where they would take Boba or where they would take Luke, but then, we already know what happened with that. I thought they would still honor Luke's legacy, but no. I mean, if there was some sort of honoring of Luke's legacy, we wouldn't be here, discussing some of this stuff.
Yeah, it's they could have gone with what was there originally, like the crap that spewed forth with Kathleen Kennedy saying that they had no source material.
Yeah.
Oh
They
my
had plenty
God.
of source material. It's that they couldn't get over their own ego to integrate the source material.
Yes.
Basically, we can do
Mhm.
better. We don't need to stick with that. We don't need to stick with George's treatments. Well, where did that get you? To
Yeah.
this point where you're grabbing all the member berries and all of this, and
They
rather
didn't even
than
stick with JJ's treatment. Did you guys see
Mm-mm.
that?
Yeah, I saw that
Mhm.
one.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's you have to see what they do, because if they couldn't even build it on their own right,
Yeah.
how well are they going to pull this off?
And there's a difference between world building and nostalgia. And they're not world building, they're doing nostalgia.
Mhm.
And I had a discussion with someone with this about, George. Well, George did a lot of nostalgia. I'm like, George did a lot more world building, but then he linked like different eras of the timeline together. And yeah, there was hints of this and there everywhere, but his company did a lot of world building. And you even see that in the movies. There
Mhm.
was nods to this and that. So there's a huge difference, and we're seeing a lot of nostalgia right now. So
I gotta argue one thing. Here's the thing, and this may just be my interpretation of nostalgia and stuff like that. I don't see anything wrong with nostalgia. I don't see anything wrong with fan service. What I do see wrong is like pandering and going after certain things. Like, if you do it right, there's nothing wrong with it. Now, member berries are a little different. Like the things that we saw in like The Force Awakens and stuff like that. Oh, that looks like stuff I used to know. That's member berries. If there's no real reason for it being there, stuff like that. Like, at least with the Luke issue, it was justified. It was built up to, it was earned in some respect. Again, I'm not saying it fixes everything. I'm not saying it's, whatever. But the difference there is, I think it's a nostalgia. There's not necessarily wrong with nostalgia. And that's where people got the feels. They saw, the classic Luke Skywalker. They had a series that has been building up for 2 seasons to this moment. You know what I mean? Like, we've all been waiting to see what's going to happen to this baby, and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, there's a lot more that goes into nostalgia and fan service in a way, I feel, than pandering or member berries. I think
then I would say this is pandering then, because there's a lot of things that they're doing that, they need to world build a little bit more than doing this pandering then. And bring in like some characters in to expand their stories and the plot and stuff. Yeah, I do get. But we'll go ahead and go through this article.
I agree. For what it's worth, I agree with you too. I think that I personally think that Disney Star Wars is all about pandering now, because they don't have anything. They don't have anything left. So they're like, they just have to, they got to do what they have to do to, as Lorena said, appease the,
yeah, but I also got to make the argument of what are they supposed to do though?
That's right.
That's exactly it.
So how can that be pandering though? How can it be called pandering though? Then if they're actually doing this for once for the fans, it would be fan service.
It's not for the fans though, Tom. It's just to make money. It's only to make money.
That's what all this is always for, is to make money.
Yeah.
But I mean, if they wanted to make money in the first place, they could have given us Luke, without the titty milk.
And that's what I'm talking about. It's like, you can make money making asinine decisions, or you can make money giving the fans what they want. And they didn't do that when they started out. They didn't do that. So now they have to go back to what the fans want. So I wouldn't really call it pandering. They're kind of like, this is basically, their back is up against the wall.
But
they're
that's the
losing
thing, though.
like crazy.
They were doing that because there was a lot more like, politics involved with it, with KK being like, the Force is female and like, like all that kind of stuff. So there's definitely been a change in management when it comes to that kind of thing. So they're kind of a little bit taking a step back with regards to their political statements, I think, at least when it comes to Star Wars, but not by much, so.
At least not by much right now. It's kind of like, because I get where you're coming from. It's kind of like the example of, you have a company, okay? You got a CEO who just basically tries to put the company into the ground. lower level people, we finally pull it out of the hole and start to try to right the ship. But you've always got that CEO that's not far away from making another dumb decision to sink everything, and I think that's the situation that Disney is in right now.
Yeah, and I mean they're in the same boat with actually, like, no pun intended, but with Pirates of the Caribbean. I mean they're they're doing that too, though. Like, they're killing that franchise because it's all, that's what I'm saying. It's all, a lot of it is politically driven. It's not about the fact that and like ideologically driven. That's why it wasn't necessarily, in my opinion, had nothing to do with the fans, because they had a message they wanted to put out. And now it does have a little bit to do with the fans, because Favreau is a fan. Favreau was a Star Wars fan. So he wasn't like Kathleen Kennedy, who was like a Star Wars hater and didn't want to have anything to do with Star Wars. He loved Star Wars. So he's obviously going to be like, okay, well, we got to right the ship a little bit. And he's doing what he can. And that's what
Favreau was brought in by Bob Iger to do.
Yeah, that's
and the thing is pandering is basically providing gratification for others' desires. The desires is by the fans is to get a better Star Wars product.
Yeah, but the whole point of pandering, though, at the same time, is to appease at the expense of yourself or at the expense of what you're doing.
Well, that's
in the beginning, they were. If you look at it this way, look, they were pandering to Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy's wills. And needs. But when you're looking at something like that, my point is this: would you consider it a bad thing if, like, you love the Big Mac and they decide they're going to change the Big Mac sauce, and then they just said, no, fuck it, we're going to change it back because that's what everybody wanted. Now, if they changed it back and you had a bunch of people say, well, I'm not going to buy it now because they changed it, and then they changed it back, that's just pandering to the people who wanted it originally. Well, isn't that kind of what they should be doing in the first place? Like, that's what we're kind of trying to say. Like, that was my point.
Giving gratification to those people's desires of wanting it back.
Right.
Yeah. So exactly. So I guess,
but it depends. It depends if they're going to bring back that Big Mac sauce the way that it should be brought back, or if they're going to add a bunch of shit to it and be like, oh, by the way, it's not really the Big Mac sauce. It's the Big Mac sauce and mayo whatever sauce mixed
and
together.
Sauce that we change.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Exactly.
let's do a better definition here, because there's member berries then, and then there's fan service, or pandering in this case. I guess if you wanted to take pandering as the same thing as fan service then, because member berries, there's no justification for it. It's just throw a bunch of shit out there. Oh, we know that. That's not what we got here with the Mandalorian. I would argue that in most cases, the Mandalorian has managed to be, for the most part, very decent Star Wars. Not great, but decent Star Wars. It does have its problems. It's got a lot of plot flaws. It does have issues that it does raise for, all the other films in the series, whether it be the sequels, the prequels, or the originals. But at the same damn time, it, at least as you guys just pointed out, it does feel like it's made by fans, as opposed to everything else we've gotten out of Star Wars so far from Disney.
With the sequel trilogy, good.
Exactly.
I'm on the further end of this of Mandalorian. So, there's I'll just leave it at that. So go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, and I know you feel that way, Alora, and I want everybody to say their piece. And that's the thing is, I brought that up in our review, is that there are a lot of fans who aren't just totally jumping on board with this, and I understand that point of view.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with you to an extent, Tom. I just think that basically remains to be seen. It really it all depends on what happens.
I mean, I look at this.
I think it's the sincerity of it. If it's really truly sincere, then maybe they need to change the outcome of Luke's destiny in the timeline. So that's where the sincerity is questioned, I guess you can say.
And
and that's a fair point, and that's exactly what I brought up to Andre, because he's like, "What do you want out of this?" It's like, look, it's great that they did this. It was great to see Luke. I did get, some of the feels, but I'm also reminded constantly of what's to come. And I had to remind it. This is what's to come,
and that's exactly it. Unless they retcon it, that's what it all leads to. So again, it's like with what they're doing, you have to keep an eye on what they're doing. You have to keep the heat on with what they're doing, because it's like if we give them an inch, you know what? It'll go back to the
But we
same
also
thing.
cannot condemn them constantly.
And
Like,
that's
I mean,
exactly
it
right.
has to be brought to the table that, yes, I do feel like a lot of the, the high fives that some of the people are getting right now, especially Favreau for this situation, are well deserved.
They are.
A
They
lot
are.
of people, constantly want to point out, well, you guys constantly condemn Kathleen Kennedy, but she's one of the producers on this. Mind you, she's an executive producer and she's the head of Lucasfilm. So her fucking name is going to be on everything,
Yeah.
period. And I'll be the first to remind everybody that executive producer don't mean jack shit. All it means is that you're there.
You're
It could be the
basically,
many things.
you're like the nameplate. It's like the CEO. If the
Yeah,
company's
they're a
great,
nameplate, but she
get
also has
lauded.
to, yeah,
If it
she
fails-
also can.
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, OJ.
No, I was going to say she also has the right as executive producer to have a say in stuff and also review things if she wishes to. We forget about that as well.
There is a point to that, but there's also the point that we've heard. And again, I can only speculate on this part is that we've been told from our sources that Bob Iger put Favreau in place. Because remember, there was that whole Bob Iger stepped down and all that shit. But before that, he's like, the buck stops with me now with Star Wars.
Yeah. And remember,
Which is-
Iger is Kennedy's boss.
Exactly,
Yeah.
which is when that happened was exactly the time this show took off, which is when Favreau was brought in. And I don't believe the whole thing with Mangold saying that he was never in talks for Boba Fett. I think that was true, but I think this took precedent and they moved him to Indiana Jones is what happened. And then basically what you have here is a push and pull inside, and KK, they kept her away from this. I really think Bob ran the buffer between the crews, and that's where, like, they brought George in more. They had that big thing where they had the photographs and she's in the fucking background for the most of the time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, she was chummy with George, but
and I don't go on assumption really as well. So I'm like, she's still in charge. She still has say in stuff as well.
yeah, she does.
Yeah.
But look at the same thing is she has been distant from this until all of a sudden it's a success. I believe, and I know what you're saying, Laura, and that's totally fair.
Yeah.
But like, we're never going to get, if you believe we'll ever get the true story of anything, then
We're
you're
not.
naive. Like that's the problem is you have to kind of read between the lines sometimes. And they've already admitted that there's been failures. There's already been times where she's been confronted with the whole director problem. And she gives the political answers, but that's just it. She can no longer deny that she's fired more people than she's actually hired, or at least have been able to bring something to complete fruition. And that's another thing that goes with all those things that were announced this last week. Like Script and a few other people told us, Disney flat out put out, and he sent me the thing. They put out a memo to all the writers agents and stuff that they were not taking any new pitches after the lockdown. They were gonna try and reconfigure everything they had. 90% of what was announced is all stuff that's been announced before.
Yeah,
it was just reconfigured into a series. Yeah, so like,
I remember,
and that's a
all the
lot of
rumors,
her.
all the press announcements, and people are like, "What and when?" And I thought we had fatigue, and that's what we joked about in the beginning.
Exactly. Yeah. So Lando, that's that movie they announced during Solo. They just reworked it into a series. We've been hearing about Obi-Wan forever.
Exactly.
It's like Boba Fett. They've been talking about Boba Fett since before the Disney sale. So like, that's the thing. Like these things are all things that have been on the table. The Rogue Squadron thing was the only thing that was brought up that was really kind of new, or that couldn't have been put together real quick during the pandemic.
Same with that other.
Wasn't the Leslie Headland thing? Wasn't that the Acolyte?
That was the only one that came in at the last minute, and Script told me that actually pissed off a lot of people in the industry. Because that was after that memo went out, and they're like, wait a minute, you told us you weren't taking any new pitches.
Okay.
And Headland was an outside person. She wasn't a member of Lucasfilm. So that kind of rubbed a lot of people the wrong way.
Is that other series? I'm sorry.
The Acolyte, yeah.
Okay. No, I the other one I was thinking of is that one with the Rogue One character.
Cassian
Andor.
Yeah, Andor. Yeah, that one.
See, that was the first one announced way back when, and I'm surprised that even got getting off the ground, because that thing's been in like fucking development hell since it was announced.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's go ahead and get back to the meat and potatoes of this and stuff.
Segues, bring it on back.
Yeah, they're like, whoa, what's going on here? We can all agree that she's not going anywhere right now, and she's one of the most influential women in Hollywood. So, they're probably just, if anything, just keep her there as a token.
She knows where the bodies are buried, and she's like one of those VPs that they're like, we just keep them off to the, to the side and give them some busy work, to do. Don't blow up anything. Go over there.
Exactly. so with this so this basically comes from when let me see where I'm at. Okay, I make sure I didn't lose my spot because we kind of went off topic, not off topic, but we just got more and further into this. All right. So basically this was Favreau's and Filoni's, or Favreau's interview he had with what TV show was that? Where am I at?
Was it Good Morning America?
There we go. Yeah. So basically, Boba Fett made his big screen debut in 1980 Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back. So that was, well, yeah, you could say that was his big TV debut, although his first appearance was in the Christmas special. And I would say that portion was tolerable.
Yeah.
So that portion was tolerable, and probably that's why he kind of like was put into the movies, or whatever. But I don't know what the hell George and all them were on during that time, and we'll just leave it at that.
It was the 70s. Just leave it there.
Exactly.
It was called George Took a Check.
Exactly.
Do this Christmas special thing, okay?
Yeah, and then so he became an instant hit, our fan favorite, thanks to his visually arresting armor and cool demeanor. Jeremy Bullock, the original actor inside the armor, passed away last week, so everybody remembers that as well. And a little bit of history with Boba Fett. George brought him in from the the Christmas special. He didn't expect him to be a fan favorite, and then when he realized that, he was contemplating on putting him in the special editions. He decided not to because it really didn't fit well with what he was going for. So that's one thing that he did not put him.
He did add him into a couple spots.
Well, he he re-put him in, but what I'm talking about is the Sarlacc surviving. Him surviving the Sarlacc.
Oh, gotcha.
I do remember about George saying that Boba Fett wasn't meant to be like a prominent character.
Well, no, he always meant him to be an Empire, but like that was the thing is they knew it was going to be 3 years. The Christmas special came along. They introduced the character in the Christmas special so they could release the figure the year after that. So they had a figure for the 79 Christmas leading up to Empire.
Yeah. I just remember seeing that in a special because Snoop Dogg said that Boba Fett was his favorite character.
Well, because it had a lot to do with the toys. Because if most people who are old enough will remember, and I'm sure none of these ladies are old enough to remember, so I'll have to mansplain this and old-splain it to them.
No, I am.
Shh. Just take the win.
Shush her? Oh my god.
Yes, because she's supposed to just accept that I'm saying she's young and just be quiet.
Just say thank you.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Anyway, no, like they had the early bird card special for 77 because the toys weren't ready.
My age? Do I look?
I know you don't look your age. That was my whole point.
You look wonderful, darling.
That's right. Just take the damn compliment. So they didn't have any toys for 77. They had the original movie toys for 78. They knew they weren't going to have anything new for 79 because Empire wasn't going to be out till 80. So that was kind of one of George's motivations was get a new character out there. And Boba Fett was the character he chose, basically. It was just a kind of a whim kind of thing almost, I guess. But yeah, he just wanted to establish him as this badass bounty hunter is what he wanted to kind of do because he knew he was going to be in the movie, but
yeah,
well,
exactly.
He was such a cool character, and I'm surprised that he was such a fan favorite. And that guy was awesome. The guy that passed away.
Everybody had the toy. That's another reason, because like I said, it was the only new toy that came out for 2 years.
Yeah, and everybody was fascinated with this like mysterious like person that can stand up to Vader, because Vader is, like Lorena said, Vader is the villain, the most like intimidating. Like, who is he gonna force choke next? That didn't exactly follow his command or his orders, or screwed up. Even like you said, with the commander going in there with to address Vader while he's in his hibernation or his meditation chamber. He was scared to death, and that feeling I even got first seeing Vader, and I still get those chills with him today. And so what
brings him the most mystery and prestige. It's the freaking mask. Don't take it off.
You're not supposed to reveal who you are. That's kind of what's been pissing me off about Batwoman, unfortunately. I started watching that. It's like, you're not supposed to take your freaking mask off.
Mhm.
No one is supposed to know who
Your
you
secret
are.
Identity.
Exactly. You're supposed to keep that sucker under wraps.
Hottest cougar ever.
That's what she said. Sorry.
That's so funny. And so we have this, and so then we get, Boba in the EU, and so we have these EU fans like myself who really got to know him, and his character arc was amazing in there. Especially we got towards Fate of the Jedi, where he trained Han Solo's daughter to defeat her brother. It's just a very compelling story between the two, because we have Mandalorians that don't care for Jedi, and so she's really being vulnerable and learning how to fight as a Mandalorian, because she needs to figure out a way to defeat her brother that is not a common Jedi combat situation. And so we have all this here, so people are excited to see what's going to happen. But the thing is with Boba Fett, like I was telling the girls and I was saying earlier, is that he's the type of person that worked by himself. He didn't want to be a part of any organization or anything. He was a loner, I guess you can say, in a sense, when it comes to work. And he was a very I would say has morals, even though the type of profession he was in. And so seeing him like shoot down someone for no reason was kind of off too when you know him in the lore. But hey, I digress, because not everybody's going to know him in the lore.
No. And that's kind of like with me. I mean, I didn't. The only EU novels I read, Heir of the Empire and an eternity ago. I read and The Courtship of Princess Leia, and I read The Splinter in the Mind's Eye. That's it.
I've never read a single one, so
yeah, and there's some great stories in there and stuff like that. But yeah, so let's go ahead. Are we gonna go ahead and pay homage now or later?
Yeah, why don't we do that now, since this is like the perfect segue.
All right, I'll bring it up because I have it in my window.
Thank you. So it was a bit tough enough. David Prowse passing away. David Prowse, of course, I call him the body actor, or who we know act body wise as Darth Vader. But then we go and we lose Jeremy Bulloch as well. And he died, I guess, about on the 17th, so it's a couple of days ago. So he passed away at the age of 75, and it's just really tough. I got to meet him briefly when I went to a convention in the UK about 10 years ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it was cool. It was cool to meet him. It's kind of like, I didn't expect you, kind of look like that, but it was just neat getting to meet people like him. So it's it's just, man.
Gary brought up something very poignant, and they should have had enough time to do it, but they didn't. They could have added a tribute to him at the end of this episode, or at the beginning of this episode.
Oh, yeah. No.
In memory of or something?
Nope, not one bit. Especially considering you're announcing the fucking Boba Fett series.
That's what I didn't get. There's no excuse for that.
I noticed that too. And
in the digital era, there's no excuse for that.
All they had to do was just have a little thing at the beginning for Jeremy.
It's a thing of text, dude. You just write in memory of.
And how many shows have you seen that happen, where they'll put a crawl at the end of the credits?
The Last Jedi did that.
Yeah, they'll put that
in
there.
Ellen Page became freaking Elliot Page, and Netflix changed the entire her thing in freaking 5 minutes. Well, are you kidding me?
Even Mandalorian, I don't know how fast they do it, but it had to be pretty quick. They got rid of that stage-hand in the background of that one episode pretty damn quick. So if you can do that, you could add you had a couple hours notice. You could have done.
Yeah. See, this is the kind of stuff that Disney does, and I'm like, this is why I'm peeved, man. This is why I'm still peeved, and I don't believe in their non-pandering nonsense because of this kind of stuff. This kind of stuff really pisses me off. I'm like,
Well, you're dealing with the company that laid off 32,000 people, and
the irony of this all is that Boba Fett was the inspiration, like the armor and everything for the Mandalorian culture and stuff. So you would think because the original actor passed away, he was Boba Fett, the armor is their inspiration for the culture and the Mandalorians that we have now in the lore and stuff, that there would be homage, there would be like tribute to him in that. So that's a huge, huge disservice.
Very huge disservice, especially for the people who do not know Boba Fett, for the people who don't know the actor behind him. How wonderful would it have been to pass that knowledge on? Like, oh, I didn't know that there was, an original Boba Fett, and this was the person that played him, not Tamora Morrison. Or even a message from Tamora Morrison announcing Jeremy Bullock's passing.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they had enough time for that, but they definitely had enough time to, like Nina and we were just saying, like, even if we just flashed it on the screen real quick before the show started or whatever for Jeremy Bullock or whatever. That's all you had to do.
Digital crawl.
Yeah, man.
Not that hard to do.
Yes, exactly.
Everything is digital nowadays. It's really not that difficult.
Considering the way I have to edit, Andre asks for little shit like that all the time.
And this is on a very, very low scale.
just grab one of the freaking interns and have them do it.
It's like, no, I want this little thing changed. It's like, okay, it's going to take me another hour to re-render it. But yeah, okay, it'll take them a little bit longer than an hour to render because the show's in 4K. But I'm sure they had more than enough time between the time that news got out there and they knew the show was coming out. They could have added a little title thing right at the very beginning.
They could have. It's again, in the digital age, there's no excuse for that.
No, there's absolutely no excuse for that.
They want to do.
So for the legacy of him, there's so many other people that embody Boba Fett, but he is the original. And I have a couple of Boba Fett's actors following me. And so let's just pay respect here and go pick up some books of Boba, that have Boba Fett. Bloodlines and Legacy of the Force is really, really fun to read because if you're interested in the Solo family, he trains Han Solo's daughter. There's a great there's great banter in there between, with the Mandalorian and the Jedi. There's a lot of great lore in there. So pick it up, and go watch Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Especially Return of the Jedi when he's in Jabba's palace.
Yeah, him in Jabba's palace.
This is my trophy right next to him.
Exactly. So we just wanted to take time to pay this respect towards him, being a character that came out of nowhere and a lot of fans eventually loved, and George recognized that. And so we have him here today because of that. So thank you so much again, Mr. Jeremy Bullock, for your talent and embodying, because he really didn't, he embodied the character.
He did.
And back then, actors do so much, they did it so much to, bring, because, the special effects wasn't as, as crazy as it is today. So they did a lot more, and he was an icon.
They relied more on the actor talent than post-production CGI and all of that. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, this is a tough one, especially on the heels of David Prowse. Oh,
yes, and David Prowse.
So we want to hit these super chats.
Yeah, I think we should do that.
Let's do it.
Okay, I think Laura, you're up. I think you're up next, Laura.
All right, so I'll take this one then. So Tim Riggs at $4.99. Thank you so much for joining us and listening in. Due to his father being killed at the hands of Jedi, he was known for his zeal in hunting down and killing Jedi. Exactly, and that he's talking about Boba Fett. Exactly. Yeah. So, it didn't even in a way, it didn't make sense to me for him to even want to help them out. I get it. He wanted his armor back. I get that. But for him to want to help out this Force sensitive that was a Jedi Padawan kind of still was odd for me a little bit, just a little bit.
I think it was more to do with his attachment with Mandalorian. He saw that.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
you saw the father-son bond.
Mhm.
So I think that's what really kind of,
And
you know,
maybe
calling
because he
back
had-
to. Go ahead.
Em.
Sorry.
I was going to say maybe because of the fact that he was raised with his father figure, and that's what has him with moral standards. Because Boba did have some
Yeah.
moral standards in his persona.
Well, and that's what I mean. Like, yeah, you know, just his attachment to his father, losing him so young, and all that kind of stuff. I that's where I felt like he gravitated towards their
Yeah,
cause. But yeah.
definitely. So I could see that part too. So, but you know, so like I said, it was just something that was like, kind of, yeah. So, anyways, I'm done with that. So, who's next, Luna?
Nina's
I
up,
will
yeah.
take this one, which is also from Tim Riggs. Thank you so much for another $4.99. While Disney may have the right to exclude the EU and do what they want with the IP, the audience has no obligation to give a fuck or pay money for it. And I completely 100% agree with you.
Oh,
Mhm.
absolutely. Absolutely. They
No, you're
trash
more with
all
it when
over you.
you're right. Yep.
Exactly. You don't want to pay them one dime. You don't pay them 1 red cent.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's me. I haven't paid a freaking dime to Disney since the
No,
last
and
Jedi.
that's where I mean I don't think fan service is necessarily a bad thing, because if you expect me to pay for something, I have an expectation on my end too.
Right.
Mhm.
And things like that I've gotten out of the Mandalorian are a little bit closer to what I expect. But then again, I totally understand people who are done.
Yeah,
You know,
like
they're
me.
not. Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah,
Completely.
Tom doesn't hate me for being done, and I don't hate him for being open to
Well-
more raping. I mean, I mean, I'm sorry.
You tend to do that, Nina. No, it's like I tell people, you know, it's like an ex who screws around on you and you know he messed up and he's trying to get back in your good graces. And it's just like, okay, I appreciate the gesture, but let's see what you do. You
Hey,
know,
and you know what I say,
like,
Lorena?
I'm done.
No, and that
Once
leads
a
well into
cheater, always a cheater.
no, but that actually leads kind of well into Jeremy's kind of analogy for this whole thing. Like he says, you know, the Mandalorian is just like a hit it and quit it. You know, it's you know, or friends with benefits. It's not, you know, it's not a commitment.
It's not a commitment,
You know.
definitely. Yeah.
It's a booty call. Is that
Exactly. Like so, like you said, yeah, it's that ex that cheated on you many times. You're not going to take him back into your life, but hey, you ain't with somebody right now or whatever. You ain't got no other Star Wars going on.
Yeah.
I'll take a little Star Wars on the side. All right.
There's some side action.
Chick on the side. Tim Riggs for $9.99. You are so generous tonight. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Everybody's
thank
been
you.
generous. But
Thank you.
look, the
Tim
fans
Riggs is always a great supporter of everybody. So yes, thank you so much, Tim.
is awesome. Thank you. He says, look, the fans of the last 40 plus years are what makes the Star Wars IP valuable. Agreed. KK and her crew shat all over that. Yes. The other Lucasfilm faction is trying to fix that. It will work better than the prequel movies.
I want to believe that. I really do. And that's
I
what
want to believe that too, but I'm gonna give it some more time. The wound is still fresh for me, man. I
Oh,
can't
no, and that's
unsee
totally
the titty.
understandable.
Oh,
No,
completely understandable. Completely understandable, because I know someone had said, well, oh, you're happy over what happened in the finale with Luke appearing, but don't you realize that KK is still running Lucasfilm? Yeah, I'm well aware of that.
Yeah.
Completely well aware of that. Why
Exactly.
I'm open aware of that. Doesn't take
Yeah,
away
it's-
from me enjoying it, but because I enjoy it doesn't mean that I don't see what's going on behind, you know.
Yeah, the Luke coming back, I know is not a roofie. Like it's not gonna make you forget what happened. But
No.
you know, it's just like what Tom said. Like sometimes you need a little Star Wars in your life, and I understand that.
Sometimes you need a little galactic booty call. That's
yeah,
all.
a little, yeah.
That's why I stay in the EU, the original Lars, because then I get the
Yeah,
service.
you get your
That's your
service
booty
that
call
way.
then from Star Wars.
Yeah, which
That's
reminds me.
See,
Well, my channel's a big old booty calling because that's all it's about.
I got, you know
Tom
what?
needs a
I
booty
got
call.
mine
That's
too.
what
I
this is
got
all
mine
about.
too. I got mine.
We just totally went totally.
I know. I had to take it there.
I will say this. I will say this. I got mine too. I got mine from the video game. I played that new video game, The Jedi Order, and I enjoyed that thoroughly. It was very good.
All right. So is it? I'm next on this.
Yeah, Matt G.
Right? Okay. Matt G at $5. It is irony that Luke was awesome in episode 8 of the TV season, and The Last Jedi was episode 8. Coincidence? And yeah, laugh out loud. And so basically,
Tom brought that up.
Yeah, he brought that up at the beginning. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, Nina, you want to get that last one there?
Sure. Willie Woodward for $2. Thank you so much. OG looks OG looks good for her age. Hottest cougar ever.
I don't ask their age. I just say, "Are you 18?" They're like, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
Yep.
really only 17. I'm sorry, Tom.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta see your ID now.
I'm 21 and holding. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm
would
definitely 21. I need
You're
a
lucky
drink.
I'm not serving alcohol.
Well, folks, we have our last
Speaking
story
of
of the
Luke
night.
and the Disney Plus stuff, here you
Mm.
Yeah, here we go. I just heard this today. So, Luke Skywalker series in development at Disney Plus exclusive. So I put the quotes behind in development because, who knows if this is going to pan out or not, but rumors are fun to listen to and read. So here
But this
we
was
go.
definitely not in that announcement thing,
No,
right?
and neither was the Boba Fett one either. So they kept those. Well, this one I can understand why they kept that under wraps because of Mark Hamill's appearance in the season 2 finale. But I didn't expect to hear about a Disney Plus series around him. So while most fans weren't happy with the sequel trilogy, Skywalker especially, Disney Plus Star Wars content has been well received. Well, they've only had The Mandalorian, so whatever. With loads of new shows coming to the service, Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy promises that there is a story for everyone in a galaxy far, far away.
Oh, God.
That's not what she was saying before.
We're not making it for you 50-year-old white men.
Yeah.
Not made for you.
Of course,
But
it's
we need your
female.
money. We need your money now.
Well, there was the biggest fallacy is I think Kathleen Kennedy genuinely believes that the entire Star Wars audience was basically 40-year-old white dudes who had no job and lived in their mom's basement.
Yeah.
And that just proves she's just so not a fan because anyone who's a true fan of Star Wars would know.
If it was up to
Because
Kathleen
according
Kennedy,
to Laura, she's been around for like 50-some years and she's a huge fan.
So now he makes me older.
oh my
You fucking asked for it.
So, Fandom Wire, I've never heard of this site before, can exclusively reveal that Lucasfilm and Disney Plus are in the early stages of developing a Luke Skywalker series set around the time era of The Mandalorian. Having been kept a secret in The Mandalorian second season finale, Mark Hamill surprised fans with the de-aged look of the character. No word on who is set to direct or produce, but we are said that this project is in early development. So it's probably a PowerPoint presentation on somebody's computer now.
Right.
Like this is what we think we're going to do. We'll float it out there and see what sticks. So for all these reports, it is important to stress that in development means teams connected to Lucasfilm are prepping and writing the following projects. It does not guarantee they will make it to air. Yeah, Vapor series.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the thing. They were on standby for fan reaction. That's how I see this is.
Yeah. I exactly.
For fan reaction before they announce this. They're like, if we don't get a good response, we're not going to announce it. We're not going to really be fully in development because you never know.
And I think that they're going to push forward with this now, having seen the reaction that they've got from Luke in the Mando series. And I gotta say, even though I freaking hate Disney Star Wars, Sebastian Stan would make a pretty good young Luke Skywalker.
And we've talked about him from even before and into the buyout, is that he would make a great young Luke because knowing Mark Hamill's age.
I will say this much. If a big if this thing is actually in development and they are going to do it, it's not going to have Sebastian Stan, or they would have put him in Mandalorian season 2. It's going to
You think
be
so?
deep. It's going to be CGI Luke through the whole thing.
Oh God.
What? The entire
no.
thing? That's
Hope
terrible.
not.
No, I
They
guarantee
might
you,
as
because
well
that's
make a
what they've done to
cartoon
this
series
point.
or animated series if they're gonna do that.
Yeah, they have not recast any of the younger characters to this
No.
point.
Yeah.
Or versions that we've seen within certain time periods. So, and again, I could be wrong, but I just don't see it happening. They could have him, and I don't see them hiring him as a stand-in just to deep fake him. They'll probably use the same stand-ins they used for Mandalorian. Because if anything, that's what it was a testing. Because that, and I agree with what you guys, ladies, were saying earlier about Mandalorian as well, and that's where I wanted to bring this part up. Is the first season was better. This season had a better payoff at the end, but everything leading up to this felt like a lot of setting up of other series.
Mm-hmm.
And this could very well have been a testing point for, can we get away with this? Will people be excited enough? Will they believe, an entire, at least limited series of Luke Skywalker in CGI form like that?
I almost think that they might be even more excited for this than the Obi-Wan Kenobi with, Vader.
I think so.
That was
He
a question
got a
I was
way
going
better
to ask
response.
because they kept pushing back the Obi-Wan series. It was going to start, stop. So where does that leave that series with this one being announced?
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be.
Well, I think the Obi-Wan series is a little bit farther along now than it was. Was being the operative word, but that whole Obi-Wan thing is a whole nother freaking can of worms. But anyway, I'm gonna shut up so you ladies can get on with
it. Okay, so Sebastian Stan as Luke Skywalker. There are talks being held on if Mark Hamill should return with the de-aging technology. God, I hope not. But right now, the studio is leaning towards a recast due to the expense and current imperfections of the technology. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Sebastian Stan, is one name being considered for the role of the iconic Jedi. That casting would be sure to make fans very happy. Though it may be a recast, we're told Mark Hamill is more than willing to let Sebastian Stan play his character. We'll see what happens as things develop. Would it throw people off that you see Sebastian Stan and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and you turn around and you see him in the Luke Skywalker series?
I don't know.
Not necessarily.
He resembles, like I said, there's a lot of resemblance in facial features and stuff as a young Mark Hamill.
I almost I know that they would never do this because we're talking about, after pandemic Disney and studios in general, but I almost would like them to do, a fresh person, like someone we've never heard of,
like an unknown,
like the Mandalorian.
Kind of like what happened with Anakin at the very beginning, right? Like
they brought out Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, Hayden Christensen was an unknown, and I like that. I like it when people get chances, and sometimes you get pleasantly surprised.
But they could still do it because they're saying Sebastian Stan is one name being considered. With casting, I'm pretty sure there's like plenty of agents trying to land this particular gig for their client if it pans out. The smart agents are swarming over this anyway.
Yeah,
but it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to
if it's even a thing.
Yeah, it's like, is it paperwork? Because in Hollywood, you'll hear a lot of talks about we're attached to this project. The project never happens. So see what happens there. So they're saying other shows that are coming to Disney Plus. Of course, we talked about the Obi-Wan series, the High Republic show, the Acolyte.
Oh God,
Headland Crab, Rogue One prequel show, Andor, and 2 Mandalorian spinoffs, Ahsoka and Rangers of the New Republic, which I like to call cops in the Star Wars universe. That's what.
Which one is the one that Gina Carano is going to be in?
The last one,
the Rangers one.
It looks to be that one. Yeah.
I think that's going to be the most well-received one because of the fact that she's the original character that they brought in, and she is also someone that was really developed well in the series, as you know, more so than even the starring character.
Yeah, I think so. I know
You
for
think-
me, I just have a completely shallow reason. I want to see the Ahsoka series just because I happen to like Rosario Dawson. That's my total.
That's actually what I was gonna ask. Do you think that Gina Carano's acting ability is good enough to hold her own in her own series? Because Rosario Dawson's a great actress.
I would right now, from what I've seen, I would say no. I think she would fit better with an ensemble cast because she seems to really shine with the other characters, like with her and Ming-Na Wen and Katie Sackhoff. When those three are together, it's, Gina's acting chops shine. She's not a bad actress. I think within a couple of years she'll be more seasoned because Ming-Na and Katie Sackhoff are much more seasoned actresses than Gina right now. So I would definitely see her shining in an ensemble cast rather than a show completely on her own. We'll see what happens. So
yeah.
So they're saying, would you watch a Luke Skywalker series? Well, it's got to get done first.
It's just right now. It's just a okay, we're dangling this in front of you. Remember that commercial that has the fishing pole that insurance you almost got it, and it has the money that's on the thing. That's what's going on right here. So they have Luke Skywalker here, and they're like, "Oh, you guys liked him, okay? So we are hinting on this, and it's almost there. It's almost there.
Almost got it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so I see that.
It's like this has to, until it shows up and I start seeing printed press for it.
Me liking anything Star Wars, like I said, it's gonna. I still need time. It's gonna be. I gotta see what happens with this. What are they gonna do?
And that is totally understandable.
That's why I read all the. That's why I read all the, or listen to you guys and see all the, spoilers, because I want to know where they go with it. Because if they go somewhere with it, then I'm like, okay,
maybe.
retcon this shit, whatever. He woke from a nightmare and he realized that it was all a bad dream.
Yeah, Bobby woke up in the shower and it was all a dream.
Okay. I can get behind this, and I will watch all of it. Then I'll go in. I'll start watching all of it. If
you know what, Nina, they need to earn it.
They really do.
They need to earn it.
As a big Luke Skywalker fan, they friggin' need to earn it. I like the scene, but it's not enough to convince me yet.
Yeah.
And I have Wild Katarn here that, tagged me, the Legends gal. So do we trust them to bring in Mara Jade in Disney Plus series? Miss my Mara desperately, but don't trust the writers at Lucasfilm nowadays. If they bring her in, if Timothy Zahn decides to bring her in like he brought in Thrawn, it's not going to be the same character because she's not going to be married to Luke, or they're not going to have a child. She's not going to have the same development. So it'll just be another character, maybe with some similarities, but not the exact same character that people have grown to love.
I do not want Disney
touching Mara Jade.
Dollars to donuts. If Mara Jade is made by Disney Star Wars, she will be black. And she will not have red hair.
Well, she's a redhead. So you know how that is.
So they're already going to get
she's a redhead. She's going to be turned into a black woman. Dollars to donuts.
Just to appease people like Lorena. Oh,
we've already got the Afro Latina thing covered with Rosario Dawson as Ashoka Tano. So they're going to have to pick another group to pander to.
Orange Lady good?
They a knock on wood, they haven't done that for my culture and stuff, and I hope they don't. I don't want them to do that. I watch these fantasy sci-fi for escapism, to see something different, experience a different story and stuff like that. I don't care if it's pandering to me or not that way. There's a good use of the pandering word.
Folks, we have
there you go.
3 last.
See, that's what I think about when I hear pandering, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But all right, we got to get some super chats here. Let's get to them.
Yes, let's do it.
So Tim Riggs for $19.99. Thank you so very much for supporting the channel. It's been awesome. Ladies, it has been a pleasure. That's me, not the 14 plus shots. I just lost count of whiskey talking. With the new year, I am happy to retain my optimism in humans in general and Star Wars in particular. Have a wonderful holiday. Well, have a wonderful holiday. Merry Christmas to you too, Tim. Thank you.
All right. So Tim Riggs at $199. I pay well for the right Brazier spinoff.
Brazers.
Yeah, Brazers. Yeah.
It's a porn site.
Oh my.
Oh, I know that.
I don't know why.
I don't. Yeah, Tom's like I know what that is.
Rob told me.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either. Tim, I hope you're not going to want all your super chats back with 14 plus shots in you.
Yeah.
Tom. Oh, wait. That's not Tom. It's Gary. Right? No.
Willie.
Yeah.
No. Whoops. Okay. We're
Willie
good.
Woodward.
Willie Woodward is the next one. Says, okay, if you bring Mary Jade back, I think OG should play her. Simp Man strikes.
Wow.
I wouldn't make a good redhead. I wouldn't.
You wouldn't? You know what? You should do a face app. Do a face app and see what you would look like as a redhead.
Redheads are awesome. That's why I'm one. I'm appropriating redhead culture.
Oh, how dare you?
Dare I? Hills Gallery for $5. They need to have Timothy Zahn books be referenced and be canon in the current timeline. I'm downloading a whole bunch of Timothy Zahn books to play while I'm on vacation. So
yeah.
He's cool.
Oh yeah, you're going on vacation soon.
Yeah.
You excited?
Yes, I am. I'm getting out of this state for a little bit.
Oh, and if you get Spectres of the Past, I am reviewing that on my channel, and it's a Timothy Zahn video, or not video, a book on January 7th. So we are reviewing that book.
Spectres of the Past.
Very cool.
Put that down there.
It's part of a duology. So there's Spectres of Past and Vision of the Future, and that's the Vision of the Future is when Mara and Luke almost become official.
Oh, okay. I got some Audible credits to burn.
Is it like a romance novel?
Well, kind of. Like towards the end, it's like just experiencing their bond and all. I mean, I'm not going to spoil it. No, we're not going down that way.
Oh, well, ladies, it's been a.
Is that how Luke gets out of like, it's like, dating is by saying, I'm a Jedi. We're not supposed to have attachments. So,
He changes that totally.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm not allowed to have attachments.
I knew I'd get a nerd answer out of you.
You're not supposed to touch a Jedi saber. That's all I'll have to say about that.
Yeah, it might burn you.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Put it in a sheath.
Ooh.
Okay, folks. I say we put a fork in it. We're gonna go around and introduce the ladies, but Gary's live. So when we're done here, why don't you head on over there and give him a toxic femininity raid? There's the link in the chat. Nina, tell him a little bit about yourself.
Well, you can find me on my YouTube channel where I just actually uploaded the last episode of season 2 of his Dark Materials breakdown review that I've been doing. That was a lot of fun, and you can get some good news on my channel on Fridays because everything always sucks in the news, and I would like to spread some positivity. So come to my channel on Fridays for good news, and I will be on the Rogue Entertainment channel on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and also with Lorena actually on the Queen's Council on Thursdays. So yeah, you can find me on there. And
OG.
I was like, oh yeah, NOG. Oh I forgot. Because you haven't been there for a couple of weeks. So I was like,
know.
oh, I totally forgot about you.
But I was on the last one and you weren't. Yeah, so we missed each other.
We did miss each other. Tomorrow, or actually, no, tomorrow's not Tuesday. Okay, this Wednesday, I will be on John Talks' channel for our Christmas Eve Infinite Talk. That will be a lot of fun. Please join us. And thank you so much, Tom, for having me. Lorena, OG, it's always a pleasure to be on Toxic Femme.
I didn't even know you were going to be here.
Yeah, thank you for
Don't
coming
blame
in
me.
such a tight spot. You know,
Mary phoned me in last minute, so it's all
Well, I
good.
think it was because I was live at the time was probably most likely why. I didn't even think of that, but yeah.
Probably. But you know
Yeah.
what, Mary, love you, girl.
Yeah, if you're listening,
Yeah.
hopefully you're feeling better. And
Yeah.
Mandy, we miss you too. I don't know if you're listening, but yes. And we also have our
Oh yeah, once a month I'm on Mary Mayhem's channel for Fandom Menace with
you go.
also these two ladies. So
Yeah. So we're all still
You're
together.
on a lot.
Yeah, you guys do a lot of stuff together.
we hang out.
Yeah, we like to do a lot of stuff.
Terminus S sends in $5. What red-blooded woman wouldn't want a Jedi's foreskin? Oh boy!
Oh my
Lord.
Terminus.
Oh man.
I'll give you an 8 for that for Stieg.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. All right. So thank you
That was
guys
bad enough.
again.
He made me stop.
Yeah, I'm like,
That's
wow.
what she said.
Tom
Anyway,
and-
sorry, you were saying Alora.
I was trying to divert from that, and you're like kept on going. But yes, thank everybody in the chat for coming in and listening to these important topics regarding Star Wars. And again, I am your Legends girl, trying to make it in this canon world. And this week, I may not have coffee chat. If I do, it's going to be solo. And it might just be fun question and answer or EU lore talk. So I will announce that. I haven't decided yet because it is Christmas Eve. But again, you can find me with these lovely ladies once a month on Mary's channel, Fandom Menace, the Queen's Council as well. And I am producing some more videos now because I'm on a school break and I have time and I'm so excited that I have time for you guys, my members of my channel. Yes, and then still find me here on Toxic Femme as well. So thank you guys again for coming in and enjoying the show.
All right. And last but not least, Miss Lorena Creole.
Hey, everybody. I'm Lorena Creole, bringing that spice and salt to sci-fi and pop culture analysis. OG and Nina have already talked about all the shows that we're on together. So we got that covered. Thank you. We won't have to do that. And
I always like going last because you
did.
guys always say that for me. I'm like, by the way, they announced everything for me.
Yeah.
Lorena got fired and earned her first minimum effort puppy tonight. What the fuck?
I'm doing
Wow.
great.
She's an overachiever. That's what she
But
is.
she did a wonderful show. She pulled
She
all this
did.
together, and yes, nothing I could never say enough for the ladies here. They do so much every week. 99.9% of everything you see is them. I just push the buttons. So there you go. Matt G sends in another $5 super chat. If you want to grab that, Lorena, on your way out.
Yes, Matt G for $5. Like, oh my God, ladies, it's like 5 days before Christmas. Why are you wasting time on a stream? Get in the car, losers. We're going shopping. Me
We're
girls
going
with the win.
Yes, girl.
You know what? Speaking of Mandy's voice, actually, tomorrow at 12 noon, my interview, mine and Fat Stevens' interview with Mandy is going to premiere on my channel tomorrow at 12 noon. So you can find out more about Mandy.
Awesome.
Oh,
I love this puppy. He's so cute.
so huge.
So cute.
No, I figured I better give you all a maximum effort puppy. You deserve it.
Oh, thank you.
You didn't get one bored corgi tonight, so that's a good thing. And here's one for Mary. There you go. All right, if she's listening, or if she listens back to this later, there's her Fenton. So do subscribe to all these ladies. Check out their channels. Check out all the great stuff they do. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be here. Tell Gary we said hi if you head over there.
Yes.
Peace, and take care of each other and yourselves.
Happy
And
holidays.
happy holidays, whatever. Yes. Tom's a sleepy puppy. So that's Tom right now. And don't forget to get your t-shirt as well. May not have enough time to get it before Christmas, but you can always get one for yourself. And if not, the lady in your life. There you go.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Just shows that you support toxic femininity.
Yes.
No doggy on the Roomba. All right, I'll give you one
A
doggy
lazy
on the Roomba.
puppy.
We'll do. I don't think anybody earned a lazy. Well, I guess I earned a lazy puppy. There
You
we go.
you earned one, yeah.
Yeah, I earned. There's Tom. There's Tom. Lazy puppy on the
That is
Roomba.
so freaking funny.
It's an iRobot, actually.
So cute.
Or is that what the Roomba
Too
is?
cute.
I don't even know. Right, it is a Roomba. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't have one. I need one.
Tom needs to go to sleep.
I
Yes,
do.
he
I'm
does.
tired as hell.
Yeah, you,
I
you
can tell.
You and me.
Been up since like 3:00 this morning. So,
Holy
all right,
shit.
kids. Take care, everybody. I want to thank the lovely ladies for such a wonderful show again. Take care and good night.
Proving that the Fandom Menace isn't just toxic white males. It's toxic femininity brought to you by Midnight Tale.